buildings, all this light and heat. Time to take a stand, boys, time to make a choice. Time to find our courage, time to be deployed. Make our only stand here, make our roads complete. All we waited for now, past and future meet. Get your weapons ready, kiss the ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. That's what I'm talking about. I'm fighting the war because that's what I'm doing. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, Arvanauts, to a Tuesday stream. It is July 25th, 2017. I hope everyone is doing well and is looking forward to some fun times, because I certainly am. I'm always about the fun times. As we get ready for the epic conclusion of Crypt of the Sorcerer. Before we get into talking a little bit about schedule, let me just remind everybody about a couple of things. I'm going to unmute myself in Zoom so that the person who's with me can hear that I'm talking, but you won't be able to hear her quite yet. I'm going to unmute her in a second. If you like what you see and hear on this channel, we know the way to support it. Please type in !CTT to retweet the stream. Please do that. Let everyone know about the stream. ARVTube will get you over to my YouTube channel where you can check out past broadcasts of the stream. We're up to 507 subs over there, which I think is pretty cool. So I'm pretty happy with how the YouTube channel is going. So head over there and check that out so you can see past broadcasts, including past broadcasts of this very book. Discord will get you over to my Discord channel, where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. Discord has really been doing well, and there's obviously announcements that go out on Discord, so definitely check that out. Steam Group is another place that you can find out about the stream, so check that out on Steam Group as well. And last but certainly not least is Arvtreon. We are currently sitting at 41204. Would love to see that heading north again as we head back up towards 500. A lot of cool stuff for you, a lot of cool stuff for the channel as well, so please consider doing that if you possibly really can. It does make a big difference in how we're able to do things with the channel. So if you're able to support it, much appreciated. And last but certainly not least, you guys can see those 3 emotes on the screen. Those, ladies and gentlemen, are the sub emotes. They are the sub emotes, and they have been approved, and I love them. These were done by Kilobyte. They are Arvin E. Quill. That's Arvin E, A-R-V-A-N-E, and then uppercase Q, lowercase U-I-L-L. Arvin E. So Good, which is just like So Good in here, except it's Arvane, A-R-V-A-N-E, and then capital S, lowercase o, capital G, lowercase o-o-d. Arvane So Good. And then the last one is Arvane Hype, which is just Arvane, A-R-V-A-N-E, and then uppercase H, and then lowercase Y-P-E, Arvane Hype. Now, the Arvane Hype is available. That's the one that you get at the $4.99 level. So if you guys sub, if you hit that awesome little sub button down there, you will be able to use those. Those are global. So you will be able to use Arvane Hype everywhere across Twitch. You will be able to hype people up. That is the $4.99 one. The $9.99 one is the Arv Quill, the Arvane Quill, and the $24.99 one is the Arvane So Good. So please consider doing that. Those are something special. We thought this was a way to make it so you guys could still use So Good and get hyped and all that stuff if you were better TTV people. But if you're not, this is something that you can actually use, which is global. So please consider doing that because it will spread the word about the channel. I think those emotes are pretty cool. Hopefully people will go, oh, I also want this emote, and that will bring more people over here. So that would be lovely. So consider doing that if you can, because that also helps the channel as well. Now, we were supposed to be doing Adventures of Middle-earth today, continuing Wilderland Adventures, but unfortunately, one of our players was not able to make it for personal reasons, and so we're going to have to reschedule that to next week. So it looks like next Tuesday is when we'll be doing the next Adventures in Middle-earth stream. Fortunately, however, we still have... Oh, you read it as R vain because of the gold? That's cute. No, not vain like that. You're so vain. No, that I actually have no control over the prefix. The Arvin E thing is just something which they obviously did based on my channel, but they make a very big thing of the fact that you're not allowed to switch it. Because otherwise I would just go ARV. I wouldn't have gone Arvin E, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. Not much I can do about it. So yeah, maybe that, I guess that would be funny though. It would be like that plus misspelled Arvane, you know. But anyway, so the good news about today is that although we cannot do Adventures of Middle-earth today, we can do something else which I wanted to do, which is we can reschedule the Crypt of the Sorcerer with not just doing the game book with each other, but also doing it with the live illustrations from TariToons. And so I'm going to switch over to the Fighting Fantasy game books, and I'm going to say hello to TariToons. Hi, Tari. There you.
Hi. How are you doing?
We are back. So no Adventures of Middle-earth today, but we are unfortunately, but we are doing this, which is going to be awesome as well. We always have a lot of fun doing these, and this is actually, if all goes well, the epic conclusion of Crypt of the Sorcerer. Although I have to warn everybody that it's not going to be easy. You know, like this is a difficult book, and we're not out of the woods yet. So hopefully you guys will prove yourselves to be up to the task, but we'll see. But Terry, how have you been? How has life been over the last couple of weeks?
God. Stressful, very stressful.
Very stressful.
Yes, and last week, I want to apologize in front of everyone now that we couldn't do the stream last week because my internet connection was shoddy. It was really, really bad. Just like dying every 10 minutes or so, and then Windows decided to update without an internet connection. So that took several hours to complete. And yeah, but yeah, we can do it now.
Well, we're back now. Yeah. I felt bad because I was Terry has been on with me when I was trying to fiddle with a tech problem and getting increasingly frustrated with it. So I totally felt her pain. I think we've all been there, except not with Windows 10 updates, because I have managed to avoid that plague on the world known as Windows 10 auto updates so far. But eventually I'll probably be dragged into it. But did you ever find out what was wrong with your internet? Did they ever tell you, or
no
just
idea?
No idea.
The thing is, I live with my brother, and he takes care of all the internet stuff. That all goes through him. So I don't know if he called the provider or anything. But 2 days later, it was starting to work properly again. But yeah.
Huh. Bizarre. Well.
Yeah, it sometimes happens.
I'm glad though that despite that we were able to get this fixed. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the my chat settled. There we go. Be back shortly. Time to see if your son feels like sleeping. Hang in there, Brahms. Hang in there. I feel that pain too. Yeah, my son had earlier a couple of days ago. My son was not feeling well. We're pretty sure it's because he was teething, but there was this funny experience which some people, of course, now Brahms has left, so he's not going to hear this, but maybe when he gets back, where parents are all convinced, and that's because it's true, that when children start teething, that it gives them a little bit of a fever. Pediatricians all swear this is not true. Pediatricians are lying. They're wrong. Because it is true that I mean, like measurably, he's teething and you check and he's drooling and you can see the teeth that are starting to come in and he has a little bit of a fever. Like it's just a fact, you know. But if you call them, they're like, well, it wouldn't be, the fever isn't because of his teething. So blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh. So anyway, so my poor son was not feeling well and he was irritable and not really himself. But he's back to being his fun, adorable, toddling around because he's walking a lot now self these days. So that's good. So, but enough of that, life stuff that has no relevance to what we're doing, which is about game playing. That's far more important. And that is about our life of Crypt of the Sorcerer with Caius Erebos as our main character. So, a couple of reminders about things, by the way. First of all, that can't possibly be right that you have a luck of 0. I know that their luck wasn't that low. I'm gonna say that
also you need to adjust the window. Or the
Oh, well, that
drawing.
I can do that. Is that like where you have the drawing?
Yes.
Is that going to be the place? Okay. I actually was just capturing it based on what I saw on the Zoom screen, but I will adjust now. That is good to know. So yes, Caius Erebos. Let me adjust that.
God among men.
Really,
Stuff
I mean
like
that. I think that's really true, and it is one of the reasons why I think they have a chance, chat does, of being able to escape. There we go.
I need to close the window because it's starting to storm outside.
Oh, great. All right, well, let me pop
loud.
up some music here while you do that.
There we go.
All right, let's go with, let's see, what would be a good one for this one? Let's go with... Let's go with this because I've been enjoying these lately.
Money Laundering 101.
Nope, not an advertisement. No YouTube. I don't want your advertisement.
So, how does copyright law in the US for movie soundtracks work anyway? Is that also for the 75-year thing?
I don't actually know for sure. That's a good question. I don't actually know for sure how it works. I do know that that as far as like movie soundtracks vis-a-vis game soundtracks, that game publishers are a lot more understanding about it than movie publishers are. But I honestly don't know what the official legal term is, whether it's 75 to something else with books and so forth.
Yeah, because I figured that when you can't use like current music stuff, like maybe using soundtracks from really old movies. I mean, there have been some really old movies with really great music, like the old Robin Hood movie, for example.
Yeah, 70. That's true. That's true. Because I was trying to think. I was like 70 years. So we're talking 1940, right? Basically 1948, 47, 48. So that could be that. Speaking of Windows, they're going to keep Paint. They're going to remove it, but Fan Outcry said nay. Yeah, I actually heard that Devolver Digital wants to do a game called MS Paint. They were joking that they wanted to get the rights to it or something, which I thought was kind of funny. Okay, so we've got the soundtrack to Lunar Silver Star Story because I've been playing a little bit of that on my channel. So we're going to have that going on as we move into the game book. So, chat, you guys know the way this works. You will be working with our character, Caius Erebos, who has been in a process of trying to defeat the evil sorcerer Razak. Razak was, there's Caius, looking wonderful. Razak was extraordinarily dangerous, and so you were recruited by the wizard Nostromo to try to defeat him. You have made quite a bit of progress, actually. You have found out that you have to defeat Razak with his sword. You have found out, in addition to that, that you have to pierce Razak's heart with the Gargantus horn, and that you must kill the Gargantus by cutting off the horn with magic, which you have done, actually. So you do, in fact, have Gargantus's horn. You have Razak's sword. sword. You have a ring with jewel. Unfortunately, you have the helm of cowardice, which means that you must roll less than your skill to fight, which is unfortunate. Fortunately, you have a pretty high skill, so the chances are pretty good that you're going to be able to fight, but there's no guarantee of it, so that's kind of unfortunate. And then you've got a sword and a shield, including the defender, which protects against lightning. You've been dabbed in chameleonite blood. You have an anti-werewolf ring. You have a cracked mirror and a silver frame, polished stones, an amulet of ill fortune. And you were just saved. In fact, the last thing that happened in our last session was that you were saved by Suma, this creature that said they would help you if you were ever in danger, and you were, because you were attacked by a red dragon on an airship that was going to destroy you, but fortunately Suma saved you, and you ended up riding the red dragon instead of being attacked by it, and that was basically our last point where we were. You have 15 out of 21 stamina, you have 11 out of 12 skill, you currently have, I believe it should say 10 out of 12 luck. It had you at 0, which is clearly not correct. You have no gold, you have no provisions at the moment, and I think, actually, is that true that you have no gold at all? I guess it's true that you have no gold at all, and no provisions, because you had to use those last provisions to get yourself back up to 15 out of 21 with stamina. And so as we begin today with our spectacular journey, we have the humans, and we have, the red dragon guiding you on your way towards the next stage of your journey. So chat, I have only one question for you. If you're a sub, you know what to do. Are you hyped for this journey? If you're not a sub, you can still be hyped, by the way. You just can't be gold hyped. So TariToons is hyped. That's definitely true. This is the Get Hyped music, by the way.
Meanwhile, I'm listening to the Icewind Dale soundtrack because I have to.
Oh, well, that's,
keep the game as a stream muted.
Listen, that would also hype me. You kidding me? Jeremy Soule?
Yes.
Guy's a Mac.
Well, this song right now is very soothing, actually.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Icewind Dale soundtrack. And Skyrim. I mean, the two big ones that he did, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, but everybody does Skyrim. So mainstream.
Yeah, it's true.
For the sheeple, or what they're called.
Exactly. I thought it was cool back when he was doing Icewind Dale. That was the cool part.
Yeah, I did. I've been playing Icewind Dale since I was 9 years old.
It is solid stuff.
About 9 years old.
There's hype from Optic Nerve. What's up, Optic? Good to see you, man. By the way, if you guys have not already done so, you should give Optic a follow. Optic is back into streaming, which is good. About time. He's back into streaming, so you should go over there. Very entertaining guy and a good streamer, so you guys should give him some love. And by the way, I didn't say hi to everybody. Hello to Violacious, Tawn, Uncle Elias, Trouden, of course, Terry, Sadrazim, Otakin, Optic Nerve, Nonstop, Kinesial, Jedi Knight, ECAG, EA, what's up, EA? Chira Kitty, Beautiful Bear, Brahms, Demiser, what's up, man? And Kilobyte. Good to see everyone here. I hope everybody is doing well. And with that said, let us move into the game at large. As you plunge down towards the ground, a human materializes beside you, golden and glowing. The Suma simply smiles and says, "I will save you now, but I cannot help you again." It then disappears, and much to your surprise, the red dragon returns and flies underneath you, allowing you to drop onto its back. The three of you scramble up onto its neck and fly northwest, the dragon riders of Alancia. Sometime later, after Moonstone Hills come into view, the red dragon glides down to land. As soon as you have dismounted, the dragon flies off, leaving you unharmed. You realize that it is only an hour before sunset, and so you look around for somewhere to sleep to be well rested to meet your ultimate adversary. Do you wish to sleep among the nearby trees, or do you wish to walk to the edge of the hills to sleep? So, first poll of the day.
Also, we didn't do the showing the drawing from last time thing.
Oh, yes, that's true. Let me put in the poll and then I'll do that. Yeah, sorry. I'm totally out of practice on these sessions because it's been so long. All right, hang on a second here. So, Edge of the Hills. Come on. Nearby trees. Okay, there's the poll. You guys know how to do this. You're going to do $vote space, and then you just do the number that you want. 1 for sleep among nearby trees, or 2 for walk to the edges of hill to sleep. So go ahead and make that vote now. And while you do that, yes, let us go through the pictures that we've got from the various sessions. So we started with our guy, Caius Erebos.
Yes.
So we got him for sure.
Yes, somebody made joke about dabbing in the chat last time while we were setting up. And yeah, since I usually do like some random drawing at the beginning of every stream before something happens that I can actually draw.
Right.
I naturally chose the joke. Then we had our companion, our dwarf companion. What was his name again?
I think this is Bori, I believe.
Yes,
the
Bori.
dwarf Bori, yeah. Our boy
be
Bori.
The 14th from the 14th draw. No, the 13th draw? I don't know. From the Hobbit. I
Right.
guess. Then then we found not so fun little chest from a troll or something. Was it?
I think that's right, and he had his tarantula in it.
Yes, which promptly crawled up our arm, which was
I remember that.
not as fun. Oh yeah, then we encountered the gargantuan, which I slightly drew a little bit taller than
I
these,
really want this to
actually.
be canon, though. Like, I feel like that's so much more impressive, that battle. But I like how the horn is taller than all three of them combined. Like, even the horn is bigger. Oh, man, Gigantus. Really awesome, though. I love that picture.
Like, just for context, like these guys here. So those are the guys. Just
Right.
And yeah, they are already standing like slightly in the foreground. So
Right. Yeah, no, deeply
the thing
impressive.
is, the gargantuan is even bigger.
Yeah.
Technically. So,
No, it's impressive. It's impressive.
And yeah, then I close it up with the balloon ride.
Yeah, with the airship.
Maury's balloon thingy.
And didn't you have a picture of Sim? Didn't you have a picture of Sim in there, or no? I thought that you had...
do. I can put it up. Give me a second.
Yeah, just because he's
That
the other
was from a
companion that
different
we have with us. Bori and Sim are our two companions.
Yeah, where he eats a roast duck.
And we've also got, now more people can get votes in than this. I know we don't have a lot of people yet. We're going to get more people over time, but now's the time to get in, people.
There he is.
There we go. Munch, munch. There's our boy Sim. So we've got Sim eating the chicken leg, and we've got our boy Bori as well. So Bori and Sim are the two companions involved with this little adventure of ours. Yeah, really cool stuff. All right. Cool. All right, so I'm going to last call this in a minute, although I know that we have more people that we got to get involved in here over time. So, last call on that. All right. Last call, whether you want to sleep in the forest or sleep in the hills. It's the last call. Suddenly people leap to the attack. Wait, quick, vote! Tie up the vote immediately. All right.
Everybody was so distracted with looking at stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's fine. We have the change vote. Kilobyte goes along with the crowd. Because Kilobyte couldn't decide anyway. I was getting lunch. Lunch, pah! Who needs sustenance? Okay. All right. Alrighty. Okay. All right, we will close down this vote. Poll closed. All right, and the vote is going to be sleeping in the trees. Okay.
Sleeping in the trees. What are we? Oh.
Sleeping among them, I should say. Sleeping among the nearby trees. Okay. Not long after midnight, while you are standing watch, you hear the soft fluttering of wings. From out of the dark shadows, a vampire bat swoops down to drink your blood. Dun, 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 vampire bat, dun, dun, dun. Okay, so, what I will need now from people, and fortunately for all of you, this vampire bat is not a big deal. However, I am going to need someone to volunteer to be the dice roller, and to roll on behalf of chat. And I believe that we have had Kilobyte typically do this if he was able to do it without Dragonspear around, who often does the rolling as well, or Lego Freak, who's done it in the past. So, assuming that that's the way everybody still feels, Kill, are you able to... Actually, yeah, Kilobyte's still here. So, Kill, are you able to roll dice, is my question. I'm going to do something with chat quickly. Hold on a second. Okay. All right, so Kilobyte. You can, but you'll be stepping away for lunch in about 30 minutes. Okay, that's fine. When you step away, let us know, and we will we'll try to work out an alternative dice roller at that point. So what I need you to do, Kill, is I need you to roll 2 dice, and I'm going to need you to roll for an 11 or less because of that Helm of Cowardice. You need to make sure that you're even able to battle this vampire bat. Okay, a 10. Woo! You were trying to be a coward, but you managed to avoid it. All right. So, now, as I said, this guy is not very tough, so you guys should have no problem defeating this thing. So Kilobyte is going to roll 2 dice. He's going to roll... Well, thank you for the host optic. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, dude. So what I will need Kilobyte to do is to roll 2 dice. We're going to add it to your skill, and then I'm going to roll 2 dice and add it to the skill of the vampire bat. And we're going to see who wins. But since you have a 6-point edge on the vampire bat, I think you should be able to defeat him without too much difficulty. So go ahead and make that roll there, Kilobyte. 7. Okay, so we're looking at an 18. So that means that he needs a 13 on 2 dice. You might be able to tell that's not going to be very easy to do, by which we mean impossible. And so he gets hit. He's down to 2 stamina. Sort of flaps around, not very happily. You roll an 8, he gets a 5, not even close, and down goes the vampire bat. Very, very easy. No problem for a careful adventurer like Kaya Sarabose. With a practiced adventurer like this, no problem at all. After your short combat, Bori takes over the watch, but you fail to get a good night's sleep. In the morning, you still feel tired, and your spirits aren't lifted by the sight of yet another dull gray sky. You set off for the hills and reach them in less than 20 minutes. As you walk past the entrance to a small cave, you notice a robed figure following you. Do you wish to wait and meet whoever is behind you, or would you rather walk on? All right, so what should we do? Wait to meet whoever is behind us or walk on? Yeah, this is also from the Lunar soundtrack. All right, what are we going to do, guys? Wait to meet whoever is behind us or walk on? What do we got here? What are we going to do? Hey, what's up, Tobik? Vote 2, they can catch up. This is the intro song on the Sega CD version. Oh, nice. All right, so we got a vote for wait to meet whoever's behind us and one for walk on. We're going to need someone to break this vote, break this tie. Sensing a lot of this tie voting going on. Uncle Elias with a vote for before. Beautiful Bear's like, that's a good idea. All right, last call, last call. All right. Okay, and it looks like we've got our votes in there. It wasn't intentional. That's cool, beautiful bear. All right, so you're going to wait to see who it is. A wise decision. All right. Okay. You soon see that it is a little old man dressed in yellow robes, and in fact, there's even an internal image of this. So I'm going to pop up that internal image. And, okay. So here is the... Oh, hold on a second. There we go. So there's the internal drawing. You soon see that it is a little old man dressed in yellow robes. He is completely bald and appears to be blind, although he makes his way towards the cave quite nimbly, tapping the ground in front of him with a crooked stick. When he gets close, you see that his robes are covered with strange symbols. He suddenly stops walking and stands upright, but says nothing. Do you wish to talk to him, or would you rather walk on up the hill? Right, there we go. What's it going to be? We want to talk to him or walk on up the hill? I suspect Chad is more in favor of this. They're like, all right, cool dude. Crazy robes. He caught up. Apparently, Jedi. Yes, this is not one of Terry's illustrations. This is actually from the book itself. I am switching over just temporarily. All right, I'm going to last call this. No. It didn't fall flat. I got what you're saying. I was amused. I got a chuckle. All right, let's close that poll. Okay, so you're going to talk to him. Not trusting anybody in this dangerous land, blind or not, you keep your distance from the old man and ask him where he is going. To see my old friend, the healer, he replies in a soft voice. He lives in Moonstone Hills. But what brings you here? Do you wish to reply that you intend to slay Razek, or will you reply that you are a servant of Razek? Wow, Kilobyte just being like, "Hey, let me check out my I'm going to display my evil card." All right. Guy looks too much like the dude on the cover. I think Elias has been very consistent with his voting structure. He's like, we should talk to him, we should still talk to him, and we should think about talking to him about the right things. He looks like Deckard Cain. Stay a while and listen. Okay. Nap time success. Awesome, Brahms. Great success. Let's see. All right, so we're going to close the poll. It sounds like we are going to slay Razak, is the claim. 179. The old man smiles and nods his head with satisfaction. This is indeed a monumental task that you have set yourselves, and I would like to help you if I can. I used to have great skills as a reader of symbols and languages, but the cursed Lord Azur had my eyes put out in his dungeons under Port Blacksand. The wizard Nicodemus managed to secure my release, but now, of course, my skills are greatly diminished. But I have one thing that may be of use to you, my ability to read languages, and something that I found long ago. And he pulls out this rolled piece of parchment. Opening it up, he says, I will read out the words letter by letter. And without being able to see it, obviously, he hands it over to you. And he says, read these words. You read out the words on the parchment. Thanks for the host, Tren. But the old man soon becomes irritated by your poor pronunciation. Read out the words letter by letter, he says sharply. You do as instructed, but when you finish, the old man remains silent. Finally, he grunts in satisfaction and says, well, we have found ourselves quite a useful item. The language is Hamakean. The Hamake, in case you are interested, are the last remnants of a more sorcerous age. A few of them still live in desert wastelands. They are very strange creatures with withered bodies and vulture-like heads, and are kept alive well beyond their normal lifespan by arcane spells. They see themselves as scholars and are rarely drawn into conflict, so they concern themselves with protective magic. And what you have here is a magic screen against conjured animals or insects. Quite useful, really. To activate the spell, just say Hamake and call out this number. Well, I must be going now, and so I'll say goodbye and wish you luck. And give me a second. And the number in question, by the way, is 66. So, we now have parchment, say, Hamake, then the number 66. This is going to be like Army of Darkness. Hey, there could be worse things. Okay. Well, I must be going now, and so I'll say goodbye and wish you luck. You watch the old man for a few minutes as he sets off again, walking nimbly. Then you turn and follow Sim, who, as ever, is eager to press on. Okay. That was a pretty lucky find, I guess I would say. Let's check back in and see how we're doing on the artwork. Ah, I can see it. About almost half an hour later, you hear the battle cry of a warrior and the clash of steel coming from over the brow of the hill. Do you wish to investigate, or would you rather walk by? And there we go. So, investigate the sounds of battle or walk by. All right, we have 2 votes for Investigate the Sounds of Battle, 1 vote for Walk On By. Anyone else have a decision they want to make? All right, so we have more votes for Investigating the Sounds of Battle. All right, let me last call this one. And... okay, Investigate the Sounds of Battle. Let's see what we find. When you reach the brow of the hill, you are surprised at what you see. And I will show you what you see. There's another internal illustration here. Alright, and it looks like this. Oh, hold on a second. That's not... there we go. Okay. Keep your distance, but don't look like you're keeping your distance, exactly. When you reach the brow of the hill, you're surprised at what you see. 3 wild elf women are attacking an adventurer who is wounded and on his knees, defending himself desperately with his sword. The elf women have filed teeth and long, sharp nails and are adorned with body paint. They wield flint clubs and knives and are attacking the man ferociously. Do you wish to help the adventurer or leave him to his fate? Okay, so... okay, what's it going to be? You're going to help him or leave him to his fate? Okay, sounds good. So I will get someone to step in and be the dice roller here in just a minute. Elves should be nice people. I know. I know. Maybe because they're wild elves? I don't know. Maybe this makes a difference.
I mean, elves being a nice thing is actually just from a lot of things, like folklore-wise.
Is it propaganda?
It's actually not really at all nice.
So wait, you're telling me that a made-up group is actually not as nice as one other made-up version of the group is?
Yes.
Gotcha. Want to be clear. This doesn't have anything to do with the fact that you yourself have enjoyed in the past playing dwarves, is it, Terry?
No.
I just want to make sure I'm clear. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Well, I was obsessed with elves as a teenager.
Oh, really?
Yes. Like the very first role-playing thing I did with my friends back in elementary school. We came up with this elaborate elven continent world thingy, parallel dimension thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like all the people in this world were elves, and like all based on different environments, like the mountain elves and sky elves.
Yeah.
Swamp elves, stuff like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, still have some really old drawings from that time.
Oh wow.
Yes.
I play elves in World of Warcraft, 2 night elves and 2 blood elves. I have to say that I have a tendency when I'm picking a character in D&D, I often play a half elf. And I think that's partly because I always like the image of the sort of connection of races. Also, mechanically, half elves are pretty badass if you look at what they can do in D&D. But also, I read when I was younger, in the mid-'80s, I read the Dragonlance books, which I do not think, frankly, have held up particularly well. I think they're good books to read maybe when you're 13, 14. I don't think when you get to a certain age, you're kind of like, oh man, these books, But they were fine, and there were some good parts to them even now that still hold up. But Tanis Hasselhoff, not Tanis, Tanis Half-Elven, I think it's Tanis, was one of the main characters and was a half-elf, and he was my favorite character in those books. So I always kind of liked the half-elves. I mean, obviously, elves in general I was always impressed with, but half-elves, that's where it was at.
Yeah, I never was a big fan of half-elves, but mostly because, like most people I know who played half-elves kind of just played them because they were like, oh yeah, they are like as cool as elves and as pretty as elves, but they can all do all the shit humans do. That was like the entire reason.
Maybe.
And also, I used to LARP for a long time, and like all the half-elves in LARP were always just like not put together well, character-wise and costume-wise. Role-playing-wise, and so at one point I was like, no half-elves. I have like one character who's a half-elf for Baldur's Gate, but just because I'm like, okay, I play every race in this game.
That's interesting. Well, maybe they were just confused costume-wise, like they weren't sure how to make it stand out. Maybe that was part of it.
Yeah, well, most of the time it's just like, I mean, humans don't look like elves. That's like one problem. But so then, when you play an half-elf, nobody can tell whether or not you are supposed to be a half-elf or an elf.
Right.
So it doesn't work in LARP. Not as well unless you manage to get together like a super well-looking team where like everybody looks like an archetypical character from their race.
Right.
It's super hard to pull off.
Right. That's very true. Thank you, Badu Hanak, for the follow. I appreciate it. Welcome to the Arvanauts. And Beautiful Bear, all I remember of Dragonlance was the protagonist's inner monologue, more or less consisting entirely of, am I an elf or am I a human, with all the subtlety of a sledgehammer. Yeah, that's pretty much, not very subtle. That's definitely true. Kenders are greater than... Sorry?
I saw the animated movie of Dragonlance.
I never have.
You didn't miss out unless you like really bad movies.
No, not necessarily. Well, but let's be clear though. Was it cheesy in like the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon cheesy, or was it cheesy like the Dungeons and Dragons movie cheesy? Because that movie's just bad.
I have not seen either. Actually.
Okay. You've never seen any of the D&D cartoon?
No, that never ran here.
Oh, so good. I mean, very cheesy, but really good though. And the D&D movie is an abomination against movies and all things ever. So it is horrific. Like, frankly, when one of the Wayans brothers is the best part of your movie, you know you have a problem. Like, it was nightmarishly bad. But Kender's greater than halflings, greater than half-elves, greater than humans, greater than elves, greater than half-orcs, greater than dwarves, greater than gnomes. So you put dwarves just above gnomes and below half-orcs? Damn, Elias.
Oh yeah, Kender are another reason why I stopped LARPing, because people who play Kender in LARP are bad people. You should not be allowed to LARP. They literally, like, I asked, like, people usually talk, like, after the convention, like, why they play this character and stuff like that, and, like, every player who plays a Kender literally only plays a Kender to annoy other people.
Yeah.
That's the entire idea behind that.
Yep. And they basically think that that's their whole, that's all they took from the character. Yeah, it was just like, oh, they're really, like, oh, yeah.
Just ruining everybody else's game for their own amusement.
I agree. I was never a big fan of the Kender for that reason. It was sort of like, let's take halflings, but make them really irritating and, give them a top knot. And basically you have Kender. And I'm like, okay, that's great. D&D cartoons are good but childish. Yeah. I forgot Tom Baker was in the D&D movie. Oh, such a terrible... Okay. Anyway, you guys have decided to help the adventurers, so let us get into that battle. So what I need a volunteer, because Kilobyte has had to go and get some lunch. So I need a volunteer to roll dice for us. All you need for this is 2 6-sided dice. Theoretically, you could also use the dice roller that you can find online. There are many good ones. The WotC, Wizards of the Coast dice roller, is one that I often use when I'm doing online stuff. But we need somebody to be able to roll 2 6-sided dice. And that's it. And then to be able to honestly and fairly report, what the dice roll actually was. So who would like to volunteer for this most sacred of tasks?
Can I nominate Trudon?
Sure, of course you can.
He's always watching. I know you're there.
Of course you can nominate him. If Trowden wishes to do it, he can do that. You played a Kender before reading the Dragonlance, so he's insisted I must have read the books. If you read the books, you might have been less interested in playing a Kender, Elias. There's Trowden watching. Are you willing to do it, though? Trowden, are you willing to roll the dice? Right now, he's just played secret shifty eyes guy.
That means he actually wants to do it, but he doesn't want to admit it.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about, Tron. Awesome. The power of the United Kingdom will compel us.
Yes.
With this. So awesome. Okay. So here's the way that this is going to work as you charge into attack. Each taking on a wild elf, you charge into battle. Okay. These guys are a little tougher than the vampire bats, but still not that tough. Where are we? Where's my battle? There we are. Okay. Now, what I need you to do, first of all, Trout, is I need you to roll 2 dice, and you need to get an 11 or less. This is because of the Helm of Cowardice. Otherwise, you will not be able to fight, and you'll basically just sit there as they kill you. So let's hope that you get less than 11 or less. I actually read 6 of them. I read the first 3, and then I read the series that was mostly about wizards. It was about Raistlin and his brother. Raistlin was a good character. Raistlin was interesting. I think he had potential there. The problem is, as Beautiful Bear said, the book is just very, very childish in a way. I mean, it's very obvious. It's not subtle. And so it feels like a D&D book. As I say, it was still fun, and it was still cool, and it wasn't awful. I think there were some good moments to it, but definitely it's the kind of one that you come back to and you're like, it's not as good as I might remember it to be. 2 + 2 = 4. And it's actually funny because I was just reading an article today. Okay, cool. So, Trouden, what you're going to do now is you're going to roll 2 dice, so you are able to fight. So you're going to roll 2 dice, you're going to add it to your skill, and then I'm going to roll 2 dice, add it to my skill, and the higher number is going to win that combat round. So I need you to roll 2 dice, and we're going to add that to 11. Yeah, Raistlin is a cool character, but Yeah, go ahead, Terry.
If I may, while we are talking about Raistlin, there is an amazing Russian musical based on Raistlin, actually, which you can watch in full with subtitles on YouTube, which I can absolutely recommend. Like,
really?
I know my musicals. Like, this is
a Raistlin musical?
Yes.
Really?
Great.
There are so many cool things in the world that I have no knowledge of. Wow, that's
I can
really.
very much recommend it. Yeah.
How old is this? An older musical? Like?
I would assume it's like 5-ish years old, maybe a bit longer. I can't really tell, but.
Wow. So Trouden comes out of the gate with a 12. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Out of the gate with a 12, defying Beautiful Bear's questioning of his ability, and he needed it because the elf had an 11, but that is not enough to beat the 12. And so you take them down by 2. Okay, next roll, Trouden. So yeah, it's interesting because I was just reading an article earlier today about Ready Player One. And I don't know if anyone has read this book. And there's a movie, of course, coming out next year with Steven Spielberg. And I have to admit, now I know that some people are huge fans of this. Many of my friends are fans of this book. I read the first 50 pages and I was like, I couldn't stay. I had to stop. I was like, this is the most irritating, poorly written, self-absorbed, self-indulgent list made. It's basically BuzzFeed in a book. Like, it's just like top 10 things that you like about the 80s, top 15 things that you like about the... It was just... And so I was reading an article that was basically talking about nostalgia, and they were talking about how nostalgia has a tendency to make people forget all things that were not so good about the nostalgia. Now, I'd like to think that I've never been like that. Like, I grew up in the 80s, late 70s, and up through the 80s, and there were some good things in the 80s, but there was a lot that was very bad about the 80s. Ronald Reagan, there were, terrible hair, horrifically bad clothing styles, an incredible rising inequality between rich and poor. There were some bad things about the 80s, but there were some good things too. But this is basically just like, let's take all of the stuff that we think is cool from the 80s and put it into a book. And my understanding is that Stranger Things does this as well, but Stranger Things is much better at it because Stranger Things is just better writing. And so I don't know if that's true, but I've heard, I was just surprised because I thought I was the only one who didn't care for this book. I read it and everyone was like, Ready Player One's amazing. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't agree. But apparently a lot of people dislike Ready Player One. So I was glad to know that I wasn't completely crazy out on an island. Yeah, the 80s brought us the NES. See, that's what I mean. Many good things came out of the 80s, no question. Okay, so let's see. We've got a 3. Let's see, that means a 14, so he needs a 7 to tie, an 8 to beat, does not get it. And so she is in bad shape, covered in blood. Oh, did you link us to the musical? Oh, for sure, Elias. Dragonlance musical, The Last Trial.
Чтобы спасти и тебя, и жрецу, чтобы спасти, идет ничтожный, я ли в Истаре попал в темницу.
This is awesome. Oh man, I'm gonna have to check that out later on. That's so cool. That's the link to the musical. That's really cool. No, absolutely, Elias. My argument was not that. So one more roll I need from you, Trouden, by the way. That's cool. Yeah, Elias, of course. I'm talking about the 80s in the U.S. But there were some improvements that the U.S. made too. I mean, the 80s also brought the sequencing of the human genome. And you could argue that very little has been done for medicine in the last century that has been more important than the sequencing of the human genome. Because this is the reason, the sequencing of the genome, that we were able to do any of the huge medical improvements that we now see available to us. The, gene therapies, immunotherapy, being able to address changing genetics to be able to treat certain cancers and everything else like that. That was all the result of the sequencing of the human genome, which was enormously expensive and would never have been approved in America with this ridiculous climate that we're currently under. So there were definitely improvements even in the US. So Right. I mean, I read the first 50 or 60 pages, Beautiful Bear, before I made up my mind. But, I mean, again, I don't think it was bad. I was just shocked at the amount of hype it had gotten. Okay, and down goes the Wild Elf. Successful debut there for Trouden as a dice roller. Sim and Bori are both unscathed apart from a gash in Bori's arm. But the adventurer is close to death with a flint dagger protruding from his stomach. "Is one of you the wielder of Razak's sword?" he asks weakly. You reply that you are carrying the sword. "Then my mission will be completed. I have a message for you from Nostromo. If you slay Razak, you must escape from the crypt immediately. Do not wait for anything, or else you will perish." The brave adventurer does not say another word and dies before you can even thank him. The knowledge that Nostromo is still helping you, even from afar, fills you with determination, and you set off boldly once again. Wow. This guy went a long way just to deliver that message and then immediately die. The funding of the human genome, I'm almost positive, was happening in the 80s. I'd have to check, Elias, but I thought it was the 80s because I thought I remember discussing it in high school, and that was 80s for me. As I started typing in Uncle Elias into Google. That's not... Let me type in... Okay, so it was 1984 is when it's picked up. The project launched in 1990, but the funding was approved in the 80s, Elias. So we're both kind of right. It happened during the 1990s, but the planning and the preparation for it was happening in the 80s. Because there were technologies being thought about it even in 1985. And so, yeah. $3 billion project was expected to take 15 years, and it took 13 years. And the sequence of the last chromosome was published in May 2006. But it was enormously important, though. Like, not even, it was enormously important. Hugely important. And in fact, so important that we still don't even know how much it's going to give us in the end. Okay. Let's see, 162. And let's go back over now to Terry's illustration. Ah, wait, Terry has either restarted. Oh, no, okay. So, after an hour of trekking through the blackened hills, you reach your goal at last. Lying at the bottom of a valley like a giant open wound, the fissure throws out its putrid vapor into the air. You step warily to the jagged edge of the fissure and look down inside the gaping maw. Steps run down one side into a black void, but there is little else to see. You step back from the edge to work out a plan. Do you wish to go down the steps straight away, or do you wish to wait for a servant of Razak to appear? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. There we go. What should we do? Go down straight away or wait for Servant of Razek to appear? Yeah, I do remember that too, Elias. Yep. And that actually, you know what, that fits too, because I graduated high school in 1990. So that would be, so I might have been discussing it like 87, 88, 89. And then 90 is probably when they finally decided they were going to go ahead and do it. So that all makes sense. This is the song that you guys were all excited about that she was singing on the ship. All right, last call, last call. Waiting for a Servant of Razek, or are we going down straight away? Yeah, this is the soundtrack to Lunar. All right, we're going to wait for a Servant of Razek to appear, is the will of chat. Let's see what happens. About an hour later, a hooded figure steps out of the fissure dressed in ragged black robes and carrying a black staff. The figure looks from side to side, and you see that its head is skeletal but has glowing red eyes. "A demonic servant," you whisper. "I'll take it with my sword." Sensing no danger, the demonic servant drops to its knees and begins a ritual of bowing and chanting. You seize your chance and run at it, sword in hand. Totally unafraid, it meets your blow with its bare hands, and you are surprised by its unearthly strength. Dun dun dun! Alright, so we have a demonic servant, people. Now, the good news about this guy, even though he's a little bit tougher than the ones you fought before, is that if you manage to win 2 consecutive rounds, you will end up, the power that animates his body will be broken, and it will collapse into a pile of bones. So you actually only have to win 2 consecutive rounds here. But first you have to see whether or not you're even willing to fight him. So, Trouten, go ahead and roll 2 dice. On this one, remember, you're trying to get an 11 or less, remember. So you're trying to get an 11 or less on this roll. This is to see whether you're even going to fight at all. It's Diablo time, boys. All right, good stuff, Trouten. Okay, so now that that's done, now we have to fight. So, again, you'll be rolling 2 dice. You're going to be adding that to your skill, and then we're going to roll 2 dice and add it to our skill. Now, you got a 3-point edge on this guy, so you still should be able to take him down. That's a good start. Okay. and 11. That means 22, so he needs a 15. Does not get it. All right. You strike him. Bones sort of, shiver off of his body. Oh, I think I know what this picture is that Tara's working on. I think I have a guess. All right, one more roll for me, please, Trouton. Well, hopefully one more roll. All right, a 7. And he rolls a 2. That means he drops to 2, and also the spell animating its body is broken and it collapses into a pile of bones. All right, good work, Trouton. You strip the demon of its robe and put it on, pulling the hood well over your head. That's you sorted out, but what about us? Asked Bori. You reply that you think you should go alone so as to attract less attention. Bori and Sim argue against your idea, but they see your point that, without disguises, they would hinder rather than help. They agree to wait 3 hours for you and then come after you if you haven't returned. You shake their hands and walk down the steps into the dark depths of the fissure. The foul air makes you heave, but you carry on regardless. Your eyes gradually become accustomed to the gloom, and your nose even gets used to the foul stench. When you reach the bottom, you see that the vapor is rising from a large stone bowl containing a thick red liquid, which glows as though it were molten metal. No heat is given off by the sludge, just the nauseating smell. You also see water in a nearby rock pool. You walk around the bottom of the fissure and find a crack in the wall just wide enough to squeeze through. Oh, and I think I can actually put a save point here as well, because... Okay. Okay. You also, you find a crack in the wall just wide enough to squeeze through. You also find a lever protruding from the wall at the other end of the fissure. Do you wish to squeeze through the crack or pull down on the lever? Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Heave ho! Heave ho! Let's go with this one. I assume everyone will know what this is pretty quickly. All right, so what are we going to do, guys? What should we do? Shall we vote? Shall we squeeze through the crack or pull the lever? Vote now, people. Vote now.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Pull the lever. No, what's it going to be? Vote 1 because... That's ominous. ... Because what? Because reasons? All right. Last call, last call. Hey, what's up, Pokedude? Oh, check out his new, check out Pokedude's new emote. Check that out. That's awesome, Poke. That's sweet. I like it. Poke Duhai. Duhai! That's a good one. I like that. What's up, Poke? How you doing, man? Cool stuff. Cool stuff. All right. So we are going to squeeze through the crack is what people have decided to do. And by the way, pulling the lever there, as I normally don't talk about what would have happened if, but in this case, that's it. If you pull the lever, you just die, because the rock face just caves in on you. Because that's Ian Livingstone. This is Ian Livingstone's "screw all of you" period.
Why do we even have that lever?
Exactly, so that people who pull levers in strange caves get killed. I guess that's the point.
I've been making the Emperor's New Grooves references, and you don't even catch up to them. Did anybody in chat catch on though?
Oh, wait a second. Did I just get... I think Uncle Elias... I didn't get the notification yet, though. Yeah, no, I saw that. It is cool. Mine is Arvany, which is okay. I probably would have chosen Arv for myself, but that's okay. But I think Elias has just joined on... Thank you for the follow, High Five Midget. Welcome to the Arvanauts. But I think Elias just joined up with us, and I don't think I've gotten the notification yet. Because I'm pretty sure he did, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to use that emote. So, thank you, Uncle Elias, for subbing. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir. Much love. I appreciate it. Can we get some, can we get some Arv So Goods? Can we get some So Goods, some Arv Quills, some Arv Hypes, all that kind of stuff? I have that notification switched off. Yeah, but my notification should have it listed, I think. But maybe they wouldn't know. Okay, so you didn't notify it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Elias, so much. Been with Elias for a long... Uncle Elias has been with me for a long time, so... Always a pleasure, man. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Okay. So... Pushing and hauling yourself through the crack, you eventually step out into a large, empty chamber. 2 black candles give off a dim light, and you notice that it is extremely cold. A narrow tunnel in the opposite wall leads out of the chamber, and in the floor you see a trapdoor which is bolted down. You press your ear to the trapdoor and hear some snuffling sounds coming from underneath. Do you wish to unbolt the trapdoor, or do you wish to walk down the narrow tunnel? Brahms, did you sub to me before? Because you know you have another thing that you can do for So Good. The sub So Good. Or... Here we go. There we go. Unbolt immediately. It's the stuffling sound. Yeah, thank you, Elias, very much. I appreciate it, man. And yeah, so Brahms, I don't know, I don't remember, but if you've just subscribed to me, you sub through Prime, so you only get the $4.99. Oh, interesting. So if you subscribe with Twitch Prime, I guess it doesn't pull up the same notifications. I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix that though, so that you guys can get your notifications. But thank you, Brahms. I mean, I want Twitch. I subscribe to people with my Twitch Prime, so you guys should have the same, notice as everybody else. But thank you, Brahms, very much. Can we get some So Goods and some Arv Hypes and all that kind of stuff for Brahms as well? Thank you, Elias and Brahms. I think that actually brings me to almost 20 subs now. I think I'm at 19 or 20 subs at this point, which is pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I don't know what it is, Poke. I gotta figure it out. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let's see. Yep. 18 subs right now. That's pretty cool. I am pleased. Yeah. Well, no, that's the notification they can click on in chat, Shadzar, but I also have a reminder. I also have a thing that pops up on my screen that basically gives, that's sort of like a, hey, you know, it's like a sub notification for me, even if they don't click the one that's in chat. So yeah, if you want to share your resub notification or whatever. So that's the thing that was a little weird, that they didn't have that, so. All right, so we've got 1 vote for unlock the trapdoor, unbolt the trapdoor, and 1 vote for walk down the narrow tunnel. Let's get a few more votes in here if we can, folks. Are we going to unbolt the trapdoor with snuffling sounds below it, or are we going to walk down the narrow tunnel? Yeah, my follower notifications are all working fine. Thank you for the follow, Jess for Life. Welcome to the Argonauts. Oh, has it? Thank you for the follow, Jackson. I think these are some auto follows in the Twitch mobile app. But thank you nonetheless, in case they watch the VOD later. Thank you. Welcome to the Argonauts. Yeah, Stream Elements has been lately. I think I use Muxy, which is, you know, muxy.io. But I actually didn't ever set it up to notice subscriptions. I did it for Patreon. But Patreon works, the Patreon thing works for that and for subbing. So, you know, I may have to go in and check again. Maybe I'll do that this evening and double check and see whether I can get it so that sub notices are also listed on stream. Yeah, there really are. I figure it's only a matter of time before Twitch does their own proprietary thing. Like, at some point, Twitch is going to do its own alert system, I feel. You know? Yeah, these are all coming from the mobile app, which I'm not complaining at. Because from what I've heard, a lot of these people do eventually come to the channel, so. And I do play a lot of D&D on here. Okay, so we need more votes, people. We're tied. We need votes. What are we going to do? We're going to unbolt the trapdoor or walk down the narrow tunnel? What's it going to be? Remember, it's $. I feel like it makes sense. You know, $, vote, space, and then 1 if you wish to unbolt the trapdoor, or 2 to walk down the narrow tunnel. Oh, interesting, Shadzar. They have it, well, Shadzar, I know that it's working for, I mean, it counts as a Patreon, not a Patreon. It counts as a notification for me through Patreon somehow. Like, the thing I had set up for Patreon subs also works for, like, affiliate subs for me. At least for the non-Twitch Prime ones, but I don't know about Twitch Prime ones. I don't know about that yet, so. Okay. Yeah, they are, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna last call it, last call. Thank you for the host, Chadzar. That works. All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to walk down the narrow tunnel. After 30 meters, the tunnel opens out into another chamber. The floor is littered with skulls, each one looking as if it had been smashed by a blunt instrument. At one end of the chamber there is a heavy iron door which is firmly bolted shut. As you approach, you hear a dull thumping on the door. At the other end of the chamber you see an archway which has a surround sculpted with demons and serpents. Do you wish to unbolt the door, or walk through the archway and into the tunnel beyond it? 1 second. Okay. So... Thanks for the host, Poke. Poor trapdoor guy. I know, we'll never know, right? We'll never know. Whoops, sorry about the misspelling there. Alright, so, unbolt the door or walk through the archway and into the tunnel. Those are your questions. Get your vote in right now. Yeah, you guys should be following Poke as well. Poke is a guy that I originally met actually through Foom's channel. I think I actually met Poke first on Destructoid before Foom was, while Foom was still running it, and then when Foom went over to Reverb Games, and then went back to his own channel, and now is back to Destructoid. Because everything becomes what it was 2 years ago if you just wait long enough, you know? But anyway, but I've known Poke for a long time, so good guy. You guys should be following him, sure. Don't open Dead Inside. That's funny. Quality emote, too. Yep. And actually, that reminds me that I got to go back over and follow Destructoid again, because I've still subbed to Foom's channel as I have been for a long time, but I should go back over to Destructoid now. Have you been over there, Poke? Since Foom got back over there, I realized that I haven't been getting notifications because I have notifications for him, but I stopped following Destructoid for obvious reasons a couple of years ago after Foom left it, but. I'm gonna last call this. You're one of the 3 mods right now there. How's it doing, Poke? How's it doing, do you think, this time around? How do you feel about Destructoid 2.0? And is Foom gonna do what he was trying to do before with it? Is he gonna have different hosts and stuff like that? Do you know? How is he running the channel this time around? Obviously, I can go over and find this out myself, but I was just curious since I have you as as an insider. You know, you're a Twitch insider. You know, Foomtoid is right. What's up, Ton? Thank you for the follow, Sahiril Janik. Welcome to the Argonauts. Nice. He will, but later, from what I hear. Okay. That's cool. Well, yeah, I mean, listen. You know, as we all know, Foom was doing great with it. He just needed the right kind of support. And he never had the right kind of support. This is Destructoid calling right now. We hear that you're talking about the old systems. I don't know why you're calling. But I'm here right now. What's up, IK? What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Yeah, I see. That's cool. That's cool. Good to see you, dude. What's up, IK? Or yes, Susan. IK is the only guy I know who has like 55 different nicknames. You know? I had a very simple set of... I've only in my life really had one nickname, which was freshman year of college. I had the nickname of Indy for a while because I used to wear this... indie-style hat, and then the other nickname, of course, is Arv, or Arvin, and that's it. This guy has got like 6,000 different nicknames. Susan, IAK, Enforce, Jeff. Alright, so you're going to walk through the archway and into the tunnel. Oh, and then then I find out the other day, that without telling anybody, IAK is playing D&D. He's playing Dungeons & Dragons. This guy doesn't even tell me. He's playing D&D with Cairo and with Sod. Even though I've told Sod a million times to stream the goddamn thing. He's like, I can't because of my internet. I'm like, somebody needs to stream that D&D session. That needs to have happened yesterday. A D&D session with Sod as the DM and Cairo and IAK as players is Twitch gold. It's Twitch gold. Like, I don't... Good grief, man. Like... It's just crazy talk. Let's see. Oh, shoot. I lost my place. Crap. Lost my place. All right. All right, hang on a second, guys. Sorry, I lost my place. You lose your place in a book, it takes you a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, there's that. The crack, there's that. And then walk down the narrow tunnel, there's that. And then walk through the archway. There it is. Woo! Okay. Don't lose your place in these books, guys. Okay. The tunnel soon ends at a T-junction. Do you wish to go left? Or do you... Oh. Well, my chat's broken. I was wondering why all of a sudden everyone had gone silent. I went silent because my chat is broken. As usual. Alright. That's alright. We will get this fixed. I will just use my alternative. So tiresome. Just want a good functional chat system that doesn't break all the time. Should not be too much to ask, quite honestly. So tiresome. Alright. Poke also wants to play D&D? What? Why am I only finding out about cool people that want to play D&D right now? I mean, don't get me wrong. The guys that I'm playing with are super cool as well. But that's awesome. Man, unfortunately, I do not have room whatsoever for another campaign or a slot at the moment. But, yeah, sorry. I will fix up my... I'll fix up my chat. Yeah, chat is frozen. Sorry. Yeah. You know what? And Poke, that's a good call, and I'll tell you why. It's a good call because... Excuse me as I fix up my chat here. It's a good call because the last time I had two people, Mike Smith, who's also known as Screaming Joypad, and Cairo, who had told me that they were... Both of them told me separately that they were interested in joining one of my campaigns if I ever had an opening. And then sure enough, I had not one but two openings, and I was able to get both of them in. So that's a good call. I will absolutely keep your interest in mind, and there are definitely going to be possibilities in the future, because, you know, sometimes people move on from a campaign for whatever reason. Occasionally circumstances change where I can have one-shots or anything like that. So absolutely, you should. That's a good call, and it's entirely possible that we will that something like that might open up in the future. So yes, I will keep your idea in mind, Poke. Okay. Cool. All right, now we got chat back and fixed. Sorry about that. So, we have walked through the archway. There we go. All right. So, now the question is whether to go left or to go right. All right, what's it going to be, guys? We're going to go left or we're going to go right? Oh man, that bass line. Alright, left or right, guys? Left or right? Currently right is winning, but not by much. This thank you for the cheer, Chadzar. The failfish cheer. Thank you, Shadzar. I appreciate it, man. Thank you, man. Those cheers are always appreciated. Thank you very much. This elf picture that you're working on, I'm guessing that's what it is. Looks like it's going to be pretty elaboratory.
Yeah, I hope it won't take too long. That's the problem with having multiple characters in the picture.
Does that make it a lot more difficult because of just like the relative position of the characters, or what makes it harder?
Depends on the posing, but like in this case, I just have to basically draw 3 pictures at once, so it takes like 3 times.
I got you.
Yeah, thrice a time.
I've got you. All right, we're gonna last call this. We got 2 votes for go right, 1 vote for go left. Thank you for the follow. N4 and 9. N4 and 9, that's probably leet speak that I can't translate on the fly. There we go. We got a tie vote here. 2-2. 2 for go left, 2 for go right. Ah. Why did my tab crash? Restore this tab. Don't argue with me. Restore this tab. Restore this tab. Restore all the tabs. Tell me not to restore tabs. There we go. Change vote 2 because otherwise we'll never get out of this. Okay, so we're going to the right. Okay. All right. All right, hang on 1 second. Exactly. Sorry, just making sure I have my space right. Okay. All right, so right it is. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Okay. 199. The cold tunnel is illuminated by black candles set 10 meters apart. You walk on until you come to a huge stone chair carved in the shape of a goat-headed demon. But more interesting to you at the moment is what is on the chair, what seems to be a copper ID tag. Do you wish to take the copper ID tag, or will you leave it alone? Welcome back, IK. Welcome back, Kilobyte. All right, so on the chair, on the seat of this chair, is this copper ID tag. Will we take it or leave it, is the question. You missed a couple of new subs, for one thing. You missed a couple of new subs, Kilobyte. We got a couple of new subs just now. Uncle Elias and Brahms jumped on board, because they're cool people. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can definitely be a cool person if you're not a sub, but I think it's fair to say that there are many people that are cool people that are not subs, but all subs are cool people. So if you're not a sub, you may very well be a cool person. If you are a sub, definitely a cool person regardless. That's the way to look at it. All right, so we've got the copper ID tag. Oh, damn. IAK jumping on board. Oh, man. I'm not taking any chances. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. What's up, IAK? Welcome in. Thank you for the sub, dude. I appreciate it, man. IAK has been one of my biggest supporters for a long time. He's a very cool dude. Seriously, IAK is a very, very cool guy. You can tell that from the way that he treats everybody in his stream. He's just a genuinely all-around nice dude. So thank you, IAK. I appreciate it. Also a good streamer. And you guys should be following IAK if you're not already. Yeah. Well, thanks, dude. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But you guys should definitely be following IAK. He's, as I said, a good dude. And he also plays D&D. So, I mean, you know. Like I said, a lot of cool dudes around here, but... Correct. Cheesecake, like, jacuzzi hot tubs, not all hot tubs jacuzzis, right. Cheesecake can be cake, but it's also a pie, and there's no time when cheesecake is not a pie. True. Well said. Although my favorite, this actually was confirmed for me when I was out traveling on the West Coast. I ended up getting at this place called, oh God, it's a chain. Anyone who lives out on the West Coast can tell me if I'm right. It's like Honey Bears? Something Bear is the name of the restaurant, and it's a chain, and it has like pancakes all day long. It's kind of like a Perkins if you're on the East Coast of the U.S., or like a Denny's, I guess, except it's much better than Denny's, but it's like in that same ballpark. But anyway, their big thing is that they sell a lot of pies. I got an individual chocolate cream pie. Chocolate cream pie is my favorite pie by orders of magnitude, and it was again confirmed with this. It's just lots of sweet goodness of chocolate. It's just so good.
Question.
Yes.
What do cheesecakes in the US look like that they qualify as pies?
Well, so cheesecake, see, most of the time cheesecake that I'm familiar with, see, it depends. The cheesecake that, like, the Cheesecake Factory, which is like a chain of restaurants, sells, does look more like a pie. Like, it's almost more moussey or, like, creamy than cheesy. But there's another kind of cheesecake, which is like the Brooklyn-style cheesecake, which is much more solid and is more like a cake than a pie. So I'm guessing that Shadzar is thinking of that first one that I mentioned, like the Cheesecake Factory version of cheesecake.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm skeptical.
So cheesecake in Germany is always cake-ish? Is it?
Yeah, it's always cake.
Okay.
Well, we don't really do pies here, so, but, like, for example, the cheesecake I bake, I do in, like a baking tray.
Mm-hmm.
Not even like in a cake thingy. What's it called? God damn it. Like these specific English terms is always always an issue. What do you call those box thingies you bake the cake in usually?
That you make the cake in?
Yeah.
Like a pan? Like a
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, like a well there's the crust, I mean, but then it goes in a pan. That's what we do.
Yeah, the pan, okay. But yeah, that's I don't know. Yeah, we don't really do pie.
Okay. So yeah, I'm telling you, chocolate cream pie though is where it's at. Cheesecake has a
Then
grain.
again, we have something you guys don't even have a word for. You just call it layer cake, which is kind of an understatement.
Which is, and what you would call a what?
Torte. That's what it's called. Like a cake is usually something that it's like just dough and maybe like frosting of some kind. But a layer cake, like torte doesn't even have to have neat dough in it.
Oh wow.
Like it can be just cream if you want to.
Okay, that sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, really what it comes down to is more cream is better.
Like forest cake, for example. You guys know that one, right?
Yeah,
The one
Black
from
Forest
Portal.
cake.
That's not a cake, that's torte.
Okay.
So it's kind of a misnomer.
I
So
see.
in German it's also called cake. Yeah, it's like languages and stuff. You know.
They're a thing. I make my cheesecakes in a cement mixer. That's funny. Yeah, see, that's it. Right. Pumpkin pie also has crust on the bottom. That's right.
Also, that's a definition.
I don't eat
Crust on the
cheesecake.
bottom.
I just grab a block of Kraft cheddar cheese. What have I done? Well, yeah, apple pie with cheddar cheese is really good. There's no doubt. Shadzar, that's your first mistake, is that you're grabbing Kraft and thinking it's cheese. That's your first mistake, sir. Not cheese. It's something, but it's not cheese. It's a food product. It's like they specialize in like when they have different meats like bologna, ham, and then they have one that's just called luncheon meat. The hell is that? You can't even specify. Like it's not pork, it's not bologna, it's just luncheon meat. Like what? Is it from a human? Like what is luncheon meat? Is it ridiculous?
Human.
Luncheon meat? Like what? It's just like giving me something and being like, here is food, and I'm like, what is it? And they're like, it's food. I'm like, I
know a bunch of vegetarians who would be interested in that. Like, not even joking. Like, I know a bunch of vegetarians who, like, usually it's like, the reason to be a vegetarian is like, you feel sad for the animals or something.
Right.
And then they're like, yeah, I would rather eat a human than I would be eating.
They'd be all about it, right? Yeah.
If that would be socially acceptable.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, sure, but the below was animal meat, basically.
Luncheon meat is a bunch of meats: pork, beef, chicken, etc. What does that mean, though? Why can't we just sell them as what they are? So they're a bunch of the worst parts of the meat, right? It's like the pork grade D that we put together with beef grade D, which we put together with chicken grade Q or whatever, and we end up with whatever the hell that is. Luncheon meat. Okay, so we're taking the copper ID tag. All right, so you take the copper ID tag and find that there is a number stamped on it, the number 283. Now that it's off, you see that the demon chair, the demon-headed chair, awaits for you to sit on it if you wish, now that you have taken the identity tag. So give me a second here. So do you wish to sit in the chair or not, now that you have the ID tag? Is just ground up everything? It's the meat they can't sell on slabs. Nobody should eat turducken. Well, I'd say that's fair enough. Listen. I'm a purist on this stuff, okay? If I want to eat turkey, I want to eat turkey. Don't give me a tofurkey. Don't make it in the form of a turkey and be like, look, now it looks like a turkey, but it still tastes like bean curd because it's tofu. If you're going to give me tofu, give me the block of tofu that you get in the health food store that looks like tofu, slap it on my plate, and then go, all right, here's tofu. And I'll eat it if I want to eat it. But don't try to hide it and be like, have a tofu turkey, have a tofu duck. It's a freaking, it's tofu, okay? It's not turkey. So turducken's the same thing. You don't put duck inside a turkey inside of whatever. It's turkey or duck. If you want to make both and put them next to each other, turkey and duck, that's one thing. But turkey and duck inside a turkey? Welcome to the Arvanauts, Pagan. Yeah, there is a thing, Dara Windor, called tofurkey. I swear to God, this is true. In fact, I'm going to find a link to it. There's even a home page. There's a home page for tofurkey. What the crap, man? The science of raisins. I have a psychological disorder. I am not a finicky eater, Uncle Elias. I actually have a very, very broad palate. I eat a lot of things. I just don't like raisins. I don't particularly like tomatoes, and I don't like liver. But other than that, and I'm not a big fan of eggplant. Other than that, though, I'm pretty much broad-based about everything. I actually like a lot of foods that some people don't like. I like broccoli. A lot of people don't like that. I like spinach. A lot of people don't like that.
What have I gotten myself into here? You don't like liver, no raisins. You love broccoli.
I lost. Oh, really? So you don't like broccoli?
Broccoli is my #1 hate food.
Oh,
broccoli,
okay.
Broccoli is for me what raisins is for you.
Oh man.
I despise broccoli. Oh my god. No.
Well,
I'm sorry. Blah. Blah.
So
Gross.
you like deer heart?
I've never had.
I've never had it, but I
would eat it. Sure.
I mean, I guess I don't. I assume it's one of those things that tastes like chicken because everyone always says things taste like chicken when they don't know what else to think of it.
Deer does not taste like chicken.
No, deer heart though. We don't know what deer heart tastes like.
I had deer tongue.
Deer tongue, which
yeah, well,
think of it the follow flesh-eating monkey.
My father was a ranger, so he would like regularly bring like hunted game back home.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So we ate a lot of wild meat. So yeah, but I don't think we ever ate heart.
See,
I think the dogs ate the heart, but
the dogs ate the heart. Coconut and olives. See, I like coconut okay, and olives are all right. I like olive oil quite a bit actually. Whale is super good. Yeah, but see, poke, I can't, man. I love whales. I can't do it. I can't be eating whale. I just can't. Now, if it was like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a really irritating creature that gets in the way of everything. If I was, that's funny, Shadzer. Your dad loves the turkey gizzard during Thanksgiving. Yeah, like, I mean, again, all that stuff, I don't have a problem with any of that. I just don't particularly... And then there's some things that, like, head cheese. I think it's pretty hard to find someone who likes head cheese because it literally looks like congealed fat with, like, chunks in it. It's disgusting.
What is head cheese?
Need
to Google that right.
Yeah, I was going to say, have fun with that. I do like cabbage, and I like garlic.
That's not cheese.
Right, I know.
We call that Grütze here. Not Grütze. No. Never mind.
I hope Grütze is the word for garbage, because...
No. Grütze is a type of pudding. Wait, no. Aspik. That's what we call it.
Head cheese is not actually cheese. No, I know that. But one wonders why they had to call it cheese in the first place. Also, guys, we need votes. Are we going to sit in the chair here? Now that you've got this ID tag, are you going to sit in the chair? Thank you for the follow, Stephanie. Welcome to the Arvanauts. What do you mean, nice pull? What do you mean, IK? What was a nice pull? What do you mean? The bad fake cheese. Oh, well, there's like Cheese Whiz, which is not cheese. It's terrible. Okay, I'm going to last call this. That doesn't even taste like cheese. Right. Well, the thing is, too, like, I've had... Although whatever she said was German for garbage. Yeah. The thing is, I've had, out in the West Coast again, I often get, at Beecher's, which is this, it's this cheese place, cheese curds, which are delicious. Now, the thing is about cheese curds that because of the situation that I mentioned in the past with my gallbladder, I have to be a little bit careful. Man, a lot of follows today. Thank you for the follow, Niverson. Welcome to the Argonauts. Because of the gallbladder situation, I've got to take it easy and not go too high on the fat. But I can have some cheese, and oh my God, are those cheese curds good. They're just like, if I could, cheese is the one thing. Like, I don't actually drink milk at all, and I use almost no butter on anything. I use a little bit of Olivia, which is a combination of butter and olive oil, when I even use it, which is not much. I don't put salt on anything. I never put pepper on anything. None of that stuff. But I have to say that the one thing that I really like a lot about dairy, probably even more than ice cream, and I do like ice cream, is cheese. And man, those cheese curds, so good. Frog legs I've never had, but I've heard that frog legs are good. I've also heard they taste like chicken because, again, everything tastes like chicken.
No, cheese is the best thing.
I just always remember the Muppet movie where Kermit was getting chased and they wanted him for his frog legs. That makes me feel slightly bad because I like Kermit, but otherwise. Okay, so we're going to sit in the chair. Sounds good. Sitting in the demon, goat-headed demon chair. What could go wrong? Okay. As soon as you sit in the chair, iron bars shoot out of the arms and across your lap, making it impossible to move. A hissing voice comes from the mouth above your head saying, "What is your number?" All right, guys. Are we wearing an identity tag? And if so, what number should we say? What is our number, chat? That's it. 283. That is correct. You hear a grinding sound, and slowly the giant chair starts to swing back through an opening section of the wall. The bars holding you into the chair slide back, and you are able to stand up in the large room in which you find yourself. The chair slides back into the tunnel, and now the only possible way out for you is through a door in the opposite wall. There is a sign on the door which reads, "Lock the door before opening." You are puzzled by the sign, which appears to make no sense. You try the handle and find that the door is not locked, but right next to the door is a key, and you may lock the door if you wish. Do you wish to do as the sign says and lock the door, or not? Thank you for the follow, Samuel Aherney. Welcome to the Argonauts. Seems fishy, yes. Quick reminder, guys, by the way, since you guys are here, this is hopefully, I think, it looks like we're going to get there if all goes well, the epic conclusion of Crypt of the Sorcerer. This is something that we do usually once or twice a month, now joined with TariToons doing live illustrations of stuff that we encounter in the book, which is super awesome. And this is book 26, Crypt of the Sorcerer. Next book, by the way, that we'll be doing next month is Star Strider. So books 27 is Star Strider. So Terry's going to have to get her science fiction memes in play because it is a far-flung adventure across planets. So that'll be the one that we're doing next month. Yes.
Well, actually about next month, I will probably be moving next month, so I cannot promise that I will be around next month.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. That's fine. If you're around, that's great. If not, we will move on without you for that month. That's fine. But hopefully you'll be able to. But if not, that's totally fine. That's cool.
Well, I mean, I will be able to make the time, but the problem is like when you have to move, you have to order internet for your new apartment, and that can take time. And...
Okay, well, we'll play it by ear. Are you going to be able to do next Tuesday for AME, by the way?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
yes,
I just want to make sure.
definitely.
Okay, that's cool. We'll figure it out. We get to be Star-Lord. Sort of Jedi. We can't move on without Terry. I know. Well, listen. I mean, you know, obviously, we brought Terry on board. Hey, Takanjia. We brought Terry on board because we knew how good she was at this stuff. So, you know.
Aw.
But, you know, so we will soldier on, you know. Listen, fighting fantasy game books are bigger than TariToons or me, okay? This is something that's even larger. Okay, I'm going to last call on this. But I wanted to mention, if you guys like what you see in here, we do a lot of stuff of this sort. We play a lot of Dungeons & Dragons on my channel. And in fact, on Saturday, we will be continuing my flagship campaign with the Infinity and Beyond crew. Next Tuesday, we will be continuing my Adventures in Middle-earth campaign, which I'm super stoked about, which is the Tolkien campaign, our Lord of the Rings campaign. TariToons in that game is in a rather sticky situation. She's kind of been left hanging, so to speak.
Yes.
Where she is. That's next Tuesday. And right afterwards, on that Tuesday, we will be moving on to GOG, where I'm going to be continuing Storm King's Thunder D&D. So a lot of D&D in this channel, plus a lot of other types of games, including the Zelda, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past that I've been playing, and also Lunar Silver Star Story that I've been playing as well. And we have my voiceover team, the Our Vocalists, are going to be continuing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney on Friday. So where any of all of that sounds good, please make sure to follow the channel. Please sub to the channel if you can. We have new emotes now. Takanji just put it up there. We've got new channel, new emotes now. So we've got Arvin E. Hype. This is the $4.99 one that you get for a $4.99 sub. We have... that's Arv Quill at $9.99. And that is Arvin E. So Good. And those are all global. You can use those all throughout Twitch. So definitely check those out. Kilobyte did these. I think they came out really, really well. So if you want to do that, please sub to the channel and support the Patreon, because you can get cool stuff from that as well. Okay, with that said, you guys are going to lock the door. And I think it sounds like you guys were fairly definitive on this point. Okay. You take the bronze key out of your pocket, place it in the lock, and turn it. You try the handle and find that the door opens despite being locked. Still puzzled, you walk through the door and find yourself in a cold chamber, which is adorned with statues of demons and evil gods. At the far end of the chamber, you see this. I have an internal image. I promise, I have an internal image. Okay. There we go. There we are. At the far end of the chamber, a skeleton is sitting motionless on an ornate throne. It is wrapped in a purple and gold crown and wears a jeweled crown on its skull. Behind the throne is a huge granite door. Suddenly, the jaw of the skeleton moves, and in a deep voice it says, "I am Ungoth, Skeleton Lord, Master of Knowledge, Guardian of the Crypt of the Necromancer Razak. What business have you here, worm being?" You panic as you try to think of a reply. Do you wish to answer that you have been in Port Blacksand to buy weapons and persuade Lord Azur to join Razak and conquer Elancia? Or do you wish to attack the Skeleton Lord with your sword? Alright. What's it gonna be? Yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice, I think, Trouten. Again, I don't know, but I would not... My first choice would not be to vote for, you know, like, I feel like that's... The guy's in front, he's a skeleton, he looks like a badass, I don't know, I just... To me, I wouldn't be going after this dude. Thank you for the follow, Swamp Wombat. Welcome to the Argonauts. The truth shall set us free. Elias. As opposed to the time chat voted to basically jump into a lake. Yes. Very much as opposed to that time, Takanjia. Yes. Very much as opposed to the time that we should never have done that dumb thing that we all did. That was not one of chat's finest hours. It was probably slightly better than the time that we decided to make toast instead of trying to be a hero. When we were actually had the developers on stream of the game and we just embarrassed ourselves by pretending that we didn't want to be heroes. All right, we're from Port Blacksand. This guy has a bunch of bones. He's Exactly. Okay. Let's close that poll. If what you say is true, I am sure my master will want to hear of Lord Azur's allegiance. But before I allow you entrance to my master, I must ensure that you are not a spy from the outside world. I will ask you some questions, continues Urgoth. Should you answer them correctly, then I will be convinced you are a true servant of Razak. You say you were in Port Blacksand, the venerable city of thieves, to buy arms. Now tell me, how many gold pieces would you pay for a warhammer? There you go, yeah, exactly. So guys, let's take a look at our notes. How much gold would we pay for a warhammer? And by the way, let me just say that if we get this right, it's because of our boy Bori. Because Bori told us this answer when he was talking to us about how expensive things were. And you were like, oh god, I don't care. Turns out, you need to remember it. 35 gold is correct. That is right. 35 gold. That's it. Yes, Port Blacksand is a city of thieves, continues Urgoth. You breathe a sigh of relief and prepare yourself for the next question. As you know, Razak has already secured the support of all the trolls of Alancia. Our friends the trolls have some peculiar habits, the most ridiculous of which is their delight in eating hobbits' ears, especially in a competition. What is the record for the most hobbits' ears eaten at once? The thought of the disgusting spectacle fills your mind and you have difficulty concentrating on the answer. However, if you know it, you can give us the number. So, how many hobbits' ears? There you go, Shedza.
Which game was it again where we played like a monster or something and we actually ate like the carcass of the hobbit that we found in a cave?
Yeah, it was Creature of Havoc. It's yes, Creature of Havoc, yeah. One. Yep.
So, we are not unfamiliar with...
Yeah, like we know, we've totally been through this situation. I like to think of the guy that, the protagonist in these books, even though it's not the case, I like to think of this one as being like the through line from the beginning of the book. It's the same one. Like he flies into space, he or she flies into space, then comes back in like some strange foreign land, you know, like then becomes a superhero in modern times. Like it's all the same person. Could have been 187, but they were spicy. Yeah, exactly, Takanji. They're too spicy. All right, 119. Stupid trolls. But we need them in the short term, although Razak will no doubt dispense with them when he has conquered Alancia. They are merely servants to tend the Gargantus which Razak has reared and will use to spearhead his army against the forces of Alancia. You think of the white horn hidden in your robes and gulp and look away, hoping the Skeleton Lord does not detect your guilt. Anyway, continues Ungoth, what I would like you to tell me is this. The powerful Suma, a being of great power, is known by one of his many names and also his numbers. What number does the Suma possess? All right. So, what was the number? Suma, what's up, big boss?
So you said something about one game where you actually play as a superhero, right?
Right. Appointment with
Need
Fear.
to do one of these one day.
Oh, the superhero? Well, yeah,
Yes.
that we did. What we did was Appointment with Fear, which is like a big superhero one, and it's really hard, by the way. So,
Okay.
but yes, I think there's another one down the line that they do. If we answer correctly, we die. Okay. So, that is correct. It will not be long before Razak raises all the dead of Alancia to fill his army's ranks with zombies. It will be a great day. I believe I have come to believe you, he says. I will now let you enter the crypt. Go through the granite door. And he sort of stares at you for a minute. Almost unable to walk due to nervous expectation, you walk over to the granite door. In front of it is one single lever, which you pull. The huge granite door slowly slides open, and you are hit by a gust of cold mist. You see the outline of a figure shrouded in the mist, and walk forward to meet it. Okay. And this is what you see. Good to see you, Big Boss. Okay. We have one more internal illustration here. All right. Okay. I believe I have come to believe you. Well, in fairness, I was a little distracted, so I may have added in that little I have come to believe you. Not I believe I have come to believe you. I kind of got distracted and I was looking at something else, so that's my bad. The figure steps slowly towards you, and then through the mist, you see that it is your old friend, the great wizard Nostromo. Thanks for the follow, Pedro Alberto. Welcome to the Argonauts. Hello, he says in a jovial voice. You didn't expect to find me here, did you? Are we wearing a gold ring set with an iridescent jewel, chat? That's right, Big Boss. We are indeed wearing a ring with a jewel. That is correct. Although you did not know it, the jewel in your ring is known as the Seeing Eye. Its wearer will see through all illusions, even if cast by the most powerful magic. Slowly, the features of Nostromo disappear to reveal the hideous figure of Razak in his true form. His body is grotesque, with a large domed insect-like back, which curves up to his oversized head. One arm trails on the floor, while the other is withered and stunted. One eye bulges from its socket, and a twisted smile warps the left of his deformed face. Red veins pulsate on his bald skull, and you have never felt so repulsed in all your life. I knew you were an outsider, he sneers. I can feel the presence of my sword hidden in your robes. But you are out of your depth, worm. Suddenly he points his stunted arm at you, and a fireball shoots out from his scrawny fingertips straight at you. Okay. And... okay. Do we have a cracked mirror in a silver frame, people? Yeah, good call, Big Boss. Good call. Do we have a cracked mirror, people? In a silver frame. We do. At the last second, you hold up the mirror, and you detect surprise on Razak's face as the ball of fire veers away from your body. He releases another fireball, but it too veers away. Realizing that you have protection from fire, he starts to mumble words which you do not comprehend. Immediately, his fingertips are crawling with giant, bloated insects which swarm towards you as if Razak were holding the edge of a massive, pulsating cone. Thank you for the follow, Lucas Polak. Welcome to the Argonauts. If you possess a Hamakeian parchment, you should use it now by calling on the Hamakei and turning to the number on the parchment. Do we have a Hamakeian parchment, everyone? What's the number? Now you will experience the full power of the dark side of the Force. So be it, Jedi. Hamake 66! The Hamakean spell is cast, an invisible barrier forms around you. Hundreds of stinging insects fly into the barrier until a dark dome forms around you. Hey, 10! But frustrated by your unexpected defense, Razak dispels the insects to use even more powerful sorcery against you. Are we carrying the Defender, people? Are we carrying the Defender shield? Are we carrying the Defender shield is the question. Yes, we are. You see a flash of white light as a jagged bolt of lightning blasts from Razak's fingertips. But instead of killing you instantly, the lightning is drawn to your shield and is harmlessly discharged. Even on Razak's deformed face, you can see a hint of worry. He hesitates for a second, and seizing your opportunity, you rush at him with his own sword. Ignoring the blows of the sword, his only concern is to touch you with his fingers. All right, here we go, guys. It's the final boss. Whoops. Okay. What's up, Rommel? Art from the Berserk manga? Maybe, but this is actually art from Crypt of the Sorcerer, in fact. All right, so we've got skill 11, stamina 12. Now, it's up to you guys if you want to go back to Kilobyte now that he's back, or if you want to have Trouden continue to roll the dice. It's up to you guys. Totally up to you. But I will let you guys decide, and then we have to have this epic fight. The other thing is, too, if you lose 2 consecutive attack rounds, that's bad. I'm just letting you know. If you lose 2 consecutive attack rounds, that's bad. That's true. Why would you not have carried the Defender shield? That's true. All right, up to you. Do you want Trouden? Do you want to stay with it, Trouden, because you were doing the rest of this? You were doing since Kilobyte left. Do you want to stick with it, Trouden? Okay, so let's do it up then. So first of all, you have to roll 2 dice, and you have to get 11 or less. First of all, Trouden. Because this Helm of Cowardice thing. This is good combat music, too. Can you guys hear that, by the way? Can you guys hear this okay? Can you guys hear the music? Should have asked that before. Woo! Just enough. Yeah, you hear the music? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, let's do it up. Okay, Trouden, let's make it happen here. Let's make it rain. So, you know the drill. You guys are even up. You have to make sure that you don't lose 2 consecutive attack rounds. Actually, the opposite of, remember you guys fought the demon outside of his lair and his demonic servant, and you won 2 consecutive attack rounds, which meant that he was destroyed. Low but good. Okay. Turn up slightly. All right, let's do it up. All right, 5. He gets a 7. That means he has beaten you in 1 round. All right, let's try again, Trouden. No, I didn't. That first one that he rolled was to see whether we would even fight. Okay, he loses that one, so we're out of the lose 2 consecutive rounds game. Oh, I should mention, by the way, I wanted to mention, by the way, guys, that remember, you can use luck in this combat. You can use it for two ways. You can use it to lower the amount of damage you take of a hit of his, or you can increase the damage. So the way it works is if you test your luck, if you got a 10 or less, now that you've hit him, you would actually do 2 more points of damage. So he would be down to 8 points of damage. If you are unlucky, you only do 1 point of damage. So the question is, do you guys want to test your luck here to see if you do more damage to him or not? Takanji says to use luck. So don't luck? Poke says use luck. We looking at luck? Alright, so don't risk it. It's Trouton's decision. We can save Scum. Well, that's Kilgore's new one. That's cool. You can use luck as much as you want, but every time you use a point of luck, whether you're lucky or unlucky, your total goes down by 1. So you have a 10 luck right now. When you test it, if you are lucky or unlucky, it'll go down to 9, 8, 7, etc. So it looks like more people are in favor of it. Trouton, do you want to test it or not? Presumably. I mean, it's got to be close to the final battle. Okay, well then in that case, let's go with a will of chat. So let's say we use it. All right, so go ahead and do it then. So roll 2 dice. You're looking for a 10 or less. 10 or less. I actually played that wrong when I first started playing these books. I misread it and I thought that it was only did 1 extra point of damage, but 2 extra points of damage is pretty nice. 9. And he was in fact lucky. So you hit him a mighty blow. Razak is down to 8 points. Okay, next combat round. Next combat round. Here we go. Yeah, there you go. The after part, Elias, yeah. Well, it doesn't, because of the way they do it, though, it doesn't work that way, Big Boss. Right now, we're actually on page 271 out of a 400 entry book, actually. Nice job. I like it. Okay, next roll, Trouton. A 5. Okay, he gets an 8, so he hits you. All right. All right, so you were down to... Wait, we started with 15. I'm sorry. 11 points, my bad. I know, stop hitting his knees. All right, so now you got to roll again. I was aiming for his head. Ah. All right, you have hit him. So that means that you are again out of the get hit twice and die mode. So now, chat, do you want to test luck again? He's at 8 stamina now. If we are lucky, then he has to roll a 9 or less, Trouton does. If he rolls a 9 or less and we're lucky, Razak will be down to 4 points of damage. But if you only are unlucky, then you'll only do 1 point of damage. Thanks for the follow, Mike Boylan. Welcome to the Argonauts. So, do you want to test luck? The odds are definitely still in your favor with your luck, but obviously it's not a guarantee. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. I believe in Trouton's low rolls. Luck, luck, luck. All right. Sounds like luck is it. All right, Trouton. We're looking for a 9 or less here. Never tell me the odds. We're looking for a 9 or less. I'm sure Trouden is honored by your support, Takanja, by your belief in him. 6. He is, in fact, lucky. Razak is down to 4 points. 4 points, baby. He looks at you, breathing heavily. You worm, he says. All right. So now, next combat round, people. All right, Trouden, another roll. This time we're looking for higher is better. This time you're trying to take him down. Exactly. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. This is PUBG, except instead it's PUBG. PUBG, which is Players Unknown Battlegrounds Crypt of the Sorcerer. I think it's got promise. Okay, a 7. He gets a 5. All right, now, big decision, chat. He got a 5, so now he will be down to 2 points of stamina, or if you were to roll for luck and were lucky, he would be dead. So, are you going to roll for luck or not? If Trouden rolls an 8 or less and is lucky, Razak is dead. But if he's unlucky, then he'll only be down to 3 stamina instead of 2. Risk it. Luck. Luck. Luck, maybe. Luck be a lady tonight. All right. Okay, Trouden. 8 or less we're looking for. 8 or less. Some Puzzwiz. Wow, with the 3. You strike Razak a mighty blow. And I mean a mighty, mighty blow. You know what you have to do to completely destroy the Necromancer. You pull the white horn from your robes and plunge it into Razak's chest. A soul-chilling scream breaks the silence of the crypt, and within seconds, nothing more than dust lies on the floor where Razak had fallen. I realized I forgot to put in a note, which is kind of important. The mist falls away, and you see the great stone sarcophagus in which Razak lay for over 100 years. Do you wish to look inside the sarcophagus, or will you leave the crypt as quickly as possible? Was it the boss's final form? Apparently. There we go. Whoops. That's what I wanted. Can we save first? Sadly, no. Sadly, we cannot. All right, go ahead and get your votes in now, people. Are we going to leave the crypt immediately? Going to look inside the sarcophagus or get the hell out? You have fulfilled your mission, and you may remember someone having told you about this. It's a long way home is exactly right. You got snake eyes? Oh my god, Trouden. So the next combat round you would have gotten 1s? Oh. Yeah, this illustration by Tari is legit. Super legit. These are the wild elves. Super legit. All right, I'm going to last call this. Make sure to look at your notes and your items and artifacts, people. Obsidian Entertainment in the chat. Oh, really? Oh man, are we calling this guy out? Is Moves Like Jagger actually Obsidian? I am a big fan of Obsidian.
Arik, my man.
Awesome. What's up then? Welcome, Arik. Always a pleasure to have Obsidian people. Hey, you know, Arik, if you ever get a chance and you're looking for someone to be able to do certain illustrations for particular versions of Obsidian games, I know someone you might be able to use. She's very pleasant to work with, reasonable rates. No, she's not a huge fan of Obsidian, really. I mean, she doesn't like love everything they've ever done ever, but
what?
You know,
No.
This is, of course, I am being heavily sarcastic, of course. You're a big Terry fan. Well, good. So are we all. All right. So I last called that, I believe. Did I? Yes, I did. All right. And despite chat's attempt to maybe be greedy, at least partly, okay. So you're going to leave the crypt as quickly as possible. All right. As you make your way out of the crypt, you hear a rumbling sound, and small stones and dirt fall from the ceiling. Because, you know, whenever you destroy the big bad guy, the place that he's in always blows up, like always. You realize that the tunnels are about to cave in, and you must run for your life. If your current stamina is 6 or higher, turn to 400. If it's less than 6, turn to 58. I'm telling you those numbers because our stamina does happen to be 6 or higher. And that's good because otherwise we would have sort of semi-won, but we would have lost our life. But because our stamina is 6 or higher, we turn to 400, which is almost always the end entry. You reach the steps leading out of the fissure just as the tunnels start to cave in. You run up the steps and are greeted by Bori, Sim, and Nostromo. I thought you were... You start, but collapse from exhaustion before you can finish the sentence. When you wake up, you find yourself in a comfortable bed with your 3 friends sitting in chairs at the end of the bed. Well done, says the wizard with a great smile. You did it! And as promised, you have not turned into a skeleton. But it was close, mind you. I was terribly worried when you collapsed by the fissure. It was with some difficulty that I neutralized the power of Razak's sword and took it from your grip. It is now buried under tons of rubble and rock at the bottom of the fissure. And that should be the end of that. Come on, get up. It's time to start celebrating. And celebrate you do. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Not the stupid ad. Why do I have to have an ad? Well, give me an ad. YouTube? Damn it. Video will play after the ad. How about no? How about you just freaking give me the video I want without playing any ads? That's right. Victory! Yeah, that is Smooth McGroove. That's actually a little clip of that is what I use for my follow notification. So it's the Final Fantasy VII Victory fanfare. But I wanted to do a little bit more of an extended cut, let us say, for that. So yeah, guys, we did it. Congratulations. Good job, chat. Well done. And blocking YouTube ads. Well, I hate to do ad block. I don't, just, you know, I know everyone needs to survive and all that. It's just sometimes I don't want to deal with that irritation. Like, I just want to get to what I want to get to sometimes, you know? But yeah, that's absolutely the case. So we did it, guys. We did it. And we do have a few minutes left where we can actually do a little retrospective of looking at all of these things. Because this one that Terry is doing is really awesome. So I wonder if there's a way to do like a. Well, no, I'll let her finish this illustration, and then I want to do like a little retrospective of all the illustrations that we did.
Okay. I'm almost done.
Yeah, that's fine. If I wasn't here at the last part, that could have been a coin flip. Yeah, well, it kind of was already. The thing that worried me about that fight was the whole 2 consecutive attack rounds thing, because you guys were even up on skill, so there was easily there were ways that you could have set it up where he would have won 2 combat rounds in a row, and that would have been that. Like, basically what happens is he just grabs your face and all of your power is like drained from you and you become a zombie in his service. Like, just, you know, he Moldarams your face, basically. So, yeah, she is. So what we're going to be doing next time, guys, for the Fighting Fantasy game books anyway, and again, this may or may not be with Tari. It depends on whether her internet is set up and cooperates after she's moved and everything. But if she's here, she'll be illustrating it. If not, it'll just be us doing this book, Star Strider, which is book number 27. Star Strider, which is written by, I think this is by, Luke Sharp, who, I forget what else he did. I'm going to have to check it, but this is going to bring us back into space. So we're going to be doing a little bit of space time. Thank you for the follow, HSH Star. And if you look carefully at this, it looks like, thank you, Darth Ravenclaw, welcome to the Argonauts. That looks like it looks basically like a wolf with horns and with a gun. I don't totally follow. So, yes. If we have a chat time this stream, well, yeah, I have a few minutes actually. Sure, while we're finishing up, I can do that, Mirinda. Before I do that, let me just remind everybody, by the way, that we just got our sub emotes approved, so we have all 3 sub emotes available to you. If you guys are interested in subbing, you can get these to use globally. First, we have Arvani Hype, and I have not seen a single other Get Hyped or Hype emote that's gold. So this might be the only one of these that exists on Twitch, and I think Kilobyte did a great job in making this. So we have that. We also have the Arvin E. Quill for $9.99 subs. And we have the Arvin E. Gold So Good for $24.99. So if you haven't already done so, and you are interested, if you don't want to support the Patreon, which some people, I understand, and some people don't. A lot of people do, which is great. But if not, then you have that sub available to you as well. Thank you for the follow, Dara Winder. So I just wanted to mention that to everybody, and to thank everyone for joining up, because we do others of these as well, including D&D. Best Get Hyped everywhere. Yeah, thanks, Lies. Appreciate it, bro. Okay, so so lay it on me, Mirinda. I have about 10 minutes roughly before I have to close up shop, and then I'll be on GOG with my Pen and Pixel show at 4 o'clock Eastern, playing some Torment as I continue my playthrough. So, novel genre question. Yeah, lay it on me. Movies like doing remakes, music, games. Why don't novels do that? Ah, I see. So why don't novels do remakes? That's interesting. Well, I think that the remake of a movie, because there are so many different mediums that the movie operates under, and by that I mean movies are operating on the visual, right? They're operating on the oral. They can theoretically be operating in terms of reading if there's text on the screen as well. So because the visual can change so much in a movie, you can do a remake of a movie where you could literally have completely different actors playing all the parts, right? You could have a completely different soundtrack. You can have completely different special effects. You can also make the script different as well. That's the writing part of it. So you can change the script, you can change the actors and actresses, you can change the music, you can change the sound effects, the special effects, and you can make it completely different. So as a consequence, the movie can change quite a bit with a remake, assuming they don't just remake the movie by doing the same thing, which is something that bothers me. But anyway, on the book level, though, there's not much you can do to a novel other than just changing the text, right? Like if you're going to do a remake of a novel, you're not going to obviously publish the same novel, because then it's the novel that's already been published. So the only way to change it would be to alter it substantially by essentially doing a different take of the novel. And in fact, there has been an example of that. And the example is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. If you've read that, that really kind of is a mashup of Pride and Prejudice and then zombie stories. And there's even like literal quotes from Pride and Prejudice sprinkled all throughout Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So it's a little bit different than the way that than a movie would be. But it's unusual. It's not easy to do something like that. So that's why you see very little of it in the novel realm. Also, I think I also have to say that I think that movies do too much on the remake side. There is no reason to have a remake of War Games. Like, there just isn't. War Games is a beautiful movie. That movie does not need to be redone. There are many other movies like that you just don't need remakes of them, in my opinion. And I think movies rely on that too much, but books are a little bit different. And as Big Boss said, that's true too. Books are also solitary work, whereas movies and games and music are generally a much more global phenomenon, unless you're talking about something like Undertale, where Toby Fox did literally everything except for a couple of illustrations here and there. But otherwise, that's that.
Okay, I am done with this one.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm going to go over and do that as part of the whole retrospective in a second. Did I see the Thor Ragnarok trailer? No, I did not. And you know what? I haven't seen Thor 2, The Dark World. I think I'm one of the few people that, although I think Terry and I had this discussion, and I think she agreed with me that she also liked Thor, right? Is it? Or you didn't?
Well, the Dark. I wasn't a big fan of Thor: The Dark World. I did like the first movie, but
you liked the first
not
one
completely.
Okay.
Like my favorite movie from the MCU is definitely Captain America.
Yeah.
Like by far.
The Winter Soldier or the first one?
No, the first one.
Okay.
I'm just a fan of like period pieces in general, and also this one has Agent Carter, which is the best character in all of MCU. So, don't like Thor.
Okay.
I mean, it's okay. It's not my favorite, probably.
Well, no, that's fine. I was just curious. The reason is because a lot of people that I know just hated Thor, and I really kind of liked it, the first movie. And I don't know, it was really Shakespearean, so I dug that. And it was directed by Kenneth Branagh, which was cool. And Anthony Hopkins was awesome. And Heimdall is a badass. I'm sorry. Anyone who thinks that Heimdall is not paying attention. You could do an entire movie about the Watcher, and I'd be all about it. That guy is flipping badass. Plus, I like, oh God, what's his name? The bad guy in Loki. Who plays Loki in Thor?
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston. I like him too. So I like those ones. But anyway, I like the Thor. I haven't seen the second Thor movie, but I haven't seen the trailer for 3 also. I have to check that out. Especially when Michael Bay does. See, that's one thing you don't get in a novel, Dara Windor, is lens flare. But yeah. So yeah, Tom Hiddleston. So right, each person's reading of a book is a remake. That's right, Kilobyte, that's right. Because a book really exists in the space between my writing it and your reading it, right? And the reading experience really is in the space in between us, which is why it's different if I read a book, if Terry reads a book, if Kilobyte reads a book, if anyone that we know reads a book, the experience is going to be different. Sometimes people will be objectively wrong, like not liking broccoli, for instance. Those people are objectively wrong, but that's okay because I'm just kidding. I'm just
I will fight you. I will come to your place and will fight you.
You just show up at my door. Oh, hi, Punch. Like, Takanjia, has anyone played Tin Games on Android? Not only have we played them, but Tin Man Games has sponsored my channel during ArvCon the last 2 years. Tin Man Games has also done a number of releases on my channel. And we did a bunch of their Android game releases, including Appointment with Fear, with devs in the chat. I'm a huge fan of Tin Man Games. They also did The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, which was awesome, and I had our vocalist voice team do that too. So I'm a big fan of those.
Here.
What's say again?
In my hand, The Warlock of Firetop Mountain.
Right.
Well, the German version anyway. It has Rincewind on the cover.
Oh, it does? Really?
Yeah. Apparently, when they republished it for the German-speaking market, they apparently got their hand on some artwork from the Discworld novels.
They were able to get the rights to it, though? Because
I doubt it.
It wasn't probably legal. Okay. All right. So yes, but that's what I would say. That's a good call, though. All right. Let's do a retrospective, guys, of the artwork that Terry brought us throughout this stream. So throughout the Crypt of the Sorcerer playthrough. Because I think this is one of the longest ones that we did. I think this was like 4 or 5 sessions. So this took a while for us to get through. So from the very beginning, our boy Caius Erebos.
Wait a second. I have to adjust everything. Wait.
Does it exist in liminal space? Hell yeah, it does. Liminal space is everywhere, man. You guys don't realize it, but it's true.
Damn it. I'm almost there. This is a bit difficult to navigate with all the windows.
It's okay. It's building the tension because we just see the That's funny. We just saw his hand. All right, so
Okay, you have to readjust the window, I guess.
Okay. Pop up zoom. There is zoom. Okay, artwork. So this first thing that you see here was when Terry was waiting for anything to happen, basically, in the game. And so she was in the process of just started drawing things and decided that she would draw our boy Razak, who in this version, this is clearly the Suicide Squad version of Crypt of the Sorcerer, is just kind of a happy-go-lucky, you know, he's just kind of misunderstood. So he's just like, this is Razak saying, hey, what's up, guys? What's going on? Good to see you, bro. So that's our boy Razak saying sup. And Jedi Knight's like, what? Your boy Razak. Yep, that's him. All right. Next we had Caius Erebos. This was our great hero. He was ready for action. I think everyone enjoyed being able to picture him this way. Our Roman toga wearing dude who did a great job, I think, in representing himself as a hero. So he successfully managed to accomplish what he needed to. You could tell this guy was ready for action, and he proved it throughout the course of the campaign. All right, see you, Takanji. Thanks, man, for stopping by as always, man. Always a pleasure. All right, now this is where Caius first encountered these, I think they were harpoon flies, and we actually didn't make it. They actually, they pierced us with their harpoons, and it was bad. And so, and then Terry added my favorite, justice reigns from above, which is, which makes the harpoon flies into some misunderstood, you know, like, right, Big Boss. That looks like Julius Caesar after Leg Day. This looks like Julius Caesar after Ides of March Day. Hey-oh! Too soon. But anyway, there we go. So that's Caius wears slips under the toga anyway. Well, possibly. So this is the harpoon fly, which also in this version of it also looks like it's as big as his torso. So that's good. I like it. It was highly impressive as to how dangerous he was. So it's good stuff. Then we had Caius. I like this. This is the one that we actually used for a couple of banners as well. This is Caius on his horse traveling into the land. What would he find? What would he and his horse against Razak be able to determine? And they did, in fact, find a way to determine the end. Yep, 2 to the chest, yep.
Oh, wait, it's double. Why? Ah, there we go.
Yeah, now this was one of the imps that tried to basically steal all our stuff. They got us into a forest, and they encountered us, and then they eventually stole all our stuff, or just about all of it, and we were left behind, and so Terry made a picture of this imp, who seems considerably more, you know, oh, not such a big deal in this one than in the other one where what they were doing was actively horrific. And here's another example. This is definitely to scale, actually, where Caius is fighting off the imp. And Caius was like, ah, man, get the F out of my way, imp. And is preparing with his, I think, is it a pilus is the short sword? I want to say that was the name of the Roman short sword was a pilus. I'm not sure if that's true. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if it's pilus or not. Maybe someone who has great knowledge of Roman history can correct me if I'm not right. But anyway, it was fighting this imp above them. Ah, yes. And then this is where you ended up finding a centaur. And the fanny pack, was it a gladius? I thought there was a pilus or a pilum, like a P-I-L-U-M. That might have been a spear.
Pilum is a spear.
Pilum is a spear? Okay, I got it messed up. Okay.
I paid attention in Asterix.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, there you go. Gladius is the short sword and a pilum is a spear. Okay, got it. So here we have a centaur who actually ended up helping us. But for some reason, even though he's supposed to look super dramatic, Terry thought it would be funny if in addition to this, we added a fanny pack.
No, you thought that.
Did I think it was funny?
Yes,
I may have added a
you
fanny pack. Well, Terry went along with me in thinking it was funny. Well, it is funny. I mean, it's a fanny pack. It's hysterical, especially because it's held on his front, not on his fanny, and it's a long joke. Anyway, I loved it, and I like this picture. He's carrying a pilum, probably.
Well, no, this one has like a hook on it.
So it doesn't count.
I was like inspired. I don't know what the German name, what's the English name for
this is actually closer to a halberd, actually, because they have the blades on either side.
Inspired, because I thought he's a centaur, and so he would need weapons, a weapon that is effective against other centaurs, probably. Like, yeah. And these hooks are designed to attack the legs of a horse, actually, to like in mid riding, you just like grab onto the leg with a hook and
Yeah.
damage the horse's leg.
I dig it. It's good stuff. The centaur needs a feed bag. Well, that's what the fanny pack is for. Also, that's probably highly offensive to centaurs. TariToons was dipped in the painting talent brew when she was a baby. Yes, agreed.
Thank you, and also thank you for the Asterix reference. I fell into the pot.
Yes, like Obelisk did. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. Then we got our boy Sim. This is the ranger who was an awesome bowman, and he ended up biting into some chicken. This was the moment, by the way, that when we were...
It was a duck leg.
Oh, it was a duck leg. I beg your pardon. That's right. He offered to share a duck leg with us after we answered his question properly, because he basically stopped us before we knew who he was, and he was like, "Are you a servant of law or a servant of chaos?" And if you had said chaos, he would kill you instantly. And if you said law, he's like, "All right, then put down your weapon and join me for some duck leg." And you did, and we had some delicious duck leg. Notice, by the way, not turducken, duck leg. Not tofurkin, duck leg. I'm just saying, straight up duck leg. Her weakness is her heel. It depends on what the person who dipped her in was holding. Were they holding the heel? That would mean that her only inability to paint is on her heel. So maybe that,
But my weakness is broccoli.
Is what? Oh, it's broccoli. Yeah,
broccoli,
you were dipped in by broccoli. That's what it is. Oh yeah, this was the. Oh God, was this the Earth Golem?
Yeah, the golem.
Yeah, this was the Earth Golem, who I loved because I looked at him and Terry was kind of like, and she was worried she was making like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man at one point, but I loved.
No, you were worried.
I love
just
this
went
version.
Full in. I was just like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go full rune soldier. Actually, I think I already told you that this design was inspired from a golem by like a D&D based anime.
Yes.
That I watched years ago.
Yes.
So.
I love that. It's a really I just love the image also of the dust around its feet. It's really cool. I dug this one.
Oh yeah, that's one from last time.
And this was was this just sort of the stand back? I don't remember the
No.
genesis of this.
Somebody made a joke about dabbing. So until I got like an idea what to draw, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna draw him dabbing now.
I'm just not even gonna. That's funny. Yeah, the chameleonite blood that we had dabbed in. That's right. Yeah, Vogue.
Vogue.
Come on, Vogue. That's our boy Bori, of course, who looks like a cross between a dwarf and a kindly proprietor of a house in the south of Germany. I'm joking. The imitation of it. I'm joking, of course.
We do have dwarfs here. I have a bunch of stories about dwarfs, but yeah, let's not get me started. I won't stop.
This guy looks cool though. I was a big fan of his of the plated beard, the very nice beard and the two tails was a good nice touch. And then of course we had, as we said, Caius Erebos with the tarantula on him, which was a little disturbing. That the tarantula jumped out of the box, but this was definitely how I would react if I found a tarantula suddenly crawling on me. So this was, I think, the expression was all that you needed right there. I also like the fact that his headband there is like in the lightning bolts. Everything is freaked out equally, including the headband. I love that. Spider-Nado. Here we have the Gigantus, the horn of which fit in our robes. Just trust us. Totally fit in our robes. But despite the fact that the scale was wrong, I mean, I knew about this and we could have changed it, but I'm like, no, leave it. Like, you kidding me? It's awesome. His name is Gigantus. His name isn't slightly bigger than you is. His name is Gigantus. So like, whatever, like he's huge. So I think Terry did this right.
Somebody make a clip of that quote, please.
Slightly bigger than you is guy. Gigantus was awesome. And then the airship. This was such a peaceful cartoon, this one. I was just like, here we are drifting nicely over the landscape below. This is right before the Red Dragon attack, of course. Not seen in this picture, the charging in Red Dragon. But I loved it. And last but certainly not least, this probably... See, I liked all of these illustrations, but in terms of overall detail, because this is one of the ones where you were able to work on this for longer, Terry, this one seems to me like the one that had the most detail, that, seemed to come across the most, I don't know, elaborate somehow. The scratches, the tattoos, Thank you for the follow hacking games. This was really awesome, the stuff that was done. Is that accurate, that you had more time on it, and so...
Well, I mean, like, for this, like, usually per stream, I used to do, like, 4 to 5 drawings or something, and like, well, this one I did like 1.5.
Right. But this came out really nicely, though. It was a really good way to finish it. And also I think I frankly think these are better than the illustration in the book. And I think this one is great. And also, if I ever encounter 3 wild elves, I'm pretty sure this is what I would imagine them to look like. This basically is the moment where you turn away and you run like hell. Like, you don't sit around and go, "Oh, hi, how are you today?" No, you just run. Look at the spiked club too. Jeez.
Well,
yeah.
I just went with the designs from the picture in the book. But,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's nasty. It was good stuff.
Yeah,
like
but like the thing, especially when I want to draw them, because like 3 female elves, I was like, okay, but like usually this would be like, yeah, they would be super pretty and super hot. I was like, okay, no, let's make them like really disturbing looking.
Yeah, like, in fact, even let
terrifying.
me pull this up quickly. This is just to give people an idea. So this is the image in the book, which is fine. Terry's image. Book image. Terry's image. I mean, the other thing is that Terry's image looks more like what I mean, this looks a little bit like, except for the sorcerer in the middle, I mean, the swordsman in the middle, it's like Mad Max, like, is almost what I get the image of, whereas this feels more, I don't know, fantasy to me. Right, exactly. You haven't lived until TariToons paints your body paint. Exactly.
God.
Exactly. So it was good stuff. So Terry did a great job. And I did a great job with it, and it's pretty sweet. I'm very, very pleased. Yeah, exactly. Terry's enemies have way more personality. Exactly. You can feel the roar in these guys. So I dig it. So Terry did a great job, guys. And we are going to be doing this again. We will be back to you guys. As I said, I'll be back next month with these books. Terry will hopefully be back with these books as well.
Try.
She will try, but if not, totally understand. Moving is definitely a thing. But either way, you will definitely hear from and see Terry next week, because Terry will be here for the Adventures in Middle-earth campaign. And we'll be continuing that next Tuesday, the same bat time and the same bat channel. And if you want to be able to see continuing to do this, please support the channel on the Patreon. And we will continue to get Terry on as much as we can, because she does great work, and it's been great fun to have her doing these. And I think she has, it seems like, about as much fun as I do with these. So that's good, because these are really cool. So hopefully we'll continue to do them. And thanks, Big Boss. I appreciate it. I really enjoy these, and I hope that everyone does too. I know that it's a little bit of a niche. Not everyone is going to like this, but I don't know. I think they're nuts. I love these things, and so I will continue to do them as long as we have people in chat voting and watching and doing all that kind of good stuff. But that said, I am going to stop for now. I'm going to close up shop, and Terry, I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to close up shop because I got my GOG thing going on at the top of the hour. So thank you very, very much. Much respect as always. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Actually, are you able to stick around for a minute or two after I end, just so I can chat with you in Discord briefly?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I will let you go from here. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. But chat, everyone say goodbye to Terry. Tell her how great she was.
Bye. Thank you guys for having me. It was a lot of fun. I really, really hope I can make it for the next book.
It's okay. You won't be letting down everyone otherwise. It's fine. No, just kidding. God damn it. No, it's fine. Thanks, Terry. I'll talk to you soon.
Aw, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Okay. And there we go. Alrighty. Don't everyone leave yet. All right. Yeah, these are really so good. Really so good. I've really had a great time doing these. Oops, gotta fix chat. Hold on just a moment. I have to fix my chat. I gotta fix my chat right now. Gotta fix my chat, because my chat is messed up anyhow. Just give me a second. Do you like my song? Do you like this song where I'm talking about my chat's all messed up? Anyway, thanks, guys. That was awesome. I really enjoyed it, as I always do with these, and hopefully we will do more of these very soon. I mean, we will be doing some next month anyway, but hopefully Terry will be able to join us. But if not, that's okay. We'll be able to get back to her the month after next, but still, we'll be able to do this one, Star Strider, which will be coming up next month. But for this month, we have completed Crypt of the Sorcerer, Final Fantasy Gamebook 26 down and defeated, so good stuff there, guys. So that's going to do it for me for today. We're not going to do a raid because at the top of the hour, I'm going to be over at GOG doing my Pen and Pixel show. So I'm going to be doing the Pen and Pixel show as I do on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, and I'm going to be continuing my Torment playthrough. So hopefully you guys are able to stop over there at the top of the hour. I do want to remind everybody about the ways that you can support the channel. If you haven't already done so, please consider following the channel. Got a lot of follows today, which is great. Please check out the YouTube channel with !ArvTube, Steam group with !Steam group, Discord with !Discord. Don't forget, of course, about the Patreon, very important, !Arvtreon, ARVTREON. And last but certainly not least, please sub to the channel. We just got those sub emotes, so you guys will be able to use those far and wide. There really is very little overlap between the Patreon and the sub, and that was done on purpose so that we can have it where people who are supporting the Patreon at a certain level are able to get things that the sub people can't get, and vice versa, so that if you want to be able to support with both subbing and doing the Patreon, you can get multiple things. But the idea is to give you guys added value. It's not to make it where you have to say, oh, why wouldn't I just be this, and all that stuff. I wanted to make it something where people could get different things for each section. So that is the deal with that. With that said, though, I am going to leave you all for now, and I will catch all of you at the top of the hour. Again, please make sure to follow, sub, support the Patreon, and all that kind of good stuff, and subscribe. And I will catch all of you wonderful people, hopefully at the top of the hour over at GOG for my Pen and Pixels Torment. Otherwise, on Friday, you will see me again, and I'll be back here for my voiceover stream with our vocalist doing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. But that, of course, is on Friday. Tonight, we're going to be over at about top of the hour, about 40 minutes from now, over at GOG, playing Pen and Pixels and Torment Tides of Numenera. I'll be over there in a little bit. Until then, thanks everybody. Love you all. Be good to each other. Have a good day.
Fresh and new, when it all seemed clear to you, when your aim was straight and true. Were your mind untroubled by the questions in the dark, content to play your part, open pathways to your heart? Were your life untainted by a host of broken dreams, when all your acts were queens, understood all that it means? Could you have understood the way your life was bound? Did you ever wonder how you got from there to now? Oh yes, you're gonna fly away from here, where the sky grows more clear, and your problems disappear, drift away down below. Watch them go down to your friends, where the trouble never ends, and there's always just one more day left to go. Now through your pile of broken lies, and your set of fake goodbyes, another cynical disguise. When will they catch you? All those little things you said, will it turn around instead? Blame the voices in your head, with all your subtle language, try and tell